Hello, everyone, and welcome to Legends of Evantris, the channel, but certainly not Legends of Evantris, the campaign. We're not only not doing our normally scheduled programming, no Prime tonight. Oh, hold on. Nope, this is just talking on my music. Okay, I thought I was getting an echo. We are playing Tactical Waifu tonight. Because Rich has been traveling. Hopefully you tuned in and enjoyed our hilarious Everyone is John on Monday, where we played 3 full games of it and just had an absurd time. Hopefully we can have an equally absurd time. Just a few housekeeping things. This is a mature stream, especially tonight, I have a feeling, is going to get a bit mature. So hide your kids, hide your wife, or bring them for big titty anime waifus. That is just fine. We are doing a giveaway at 600 followers, so tell your friends. You can
tell your wives, tell your kids.
Wives, tell your kids, tell everybody to come follow. Please like and subscribe. We will be, if you're in the DC area, we'll be at Anime USA this weekend. So I will be giving a panel on running your first session of Dungeons & Dragons, so feel free to come hang out if you're in the DC area. And I think we can discuss what the hell Tactical Waifu even is. So this is a really basic one-page RPG system where we have a team of the 3 best waifus the world has ever seen, and you'll get a sense of what it is. All we know is that they're 3 waifus and they have a shared senpai. I can tell you that we are beginning the campaign. Where else? The campaign and the session. Where else but at a high school in Japan? And I think what we'll do is we will go around, and why don't we introduce our waifus? And yes, Derek, my body pillow is also ready. And by the way, Bland Squad, Derek, our own bear Derek, he made this overlay in like 5 minutes. It's amazing. Thanks,
Derek. I didn't have time. Thank you.
If there's any audio issue, just let us know. So, why don't we go around and set the scene, everyone's waifu. Nikki, do you want to start because you're at the table?
Sure. So, my waifu is Okemi Emi, because if you say it really fast, it kind of sounds like yummy, and she loves food. She has pink hair and G-sized TT tatas with a no-negative blood type. She is very waifu status. She does not like to fight, but she does like to roll around and cuddle, watch some Netflix, and enjoy a nice stroll through the Kawaii district. And
okay.
That's Okemi.
Do we want to go to Andy? Who are you playing?
Okay, so I'm going to need everybody at home to really use their imagination and just picture me as this waifu. Do your best.
I already do.
My character's name is Satsuki Kiryuin. I am 5 feet 8 inches tall. My hair color is long, straight, light blue, almost cobalt. My blood type is O negative. My cup size, I'll give you 2 guesses. 1 letter for each guess. It's double D, baby. My tactical weapon is the Bakuzan. It's a katana. It's a very mythical, magical katana. My personality is prideful, to say the least. Satsuki is extremely intelligent and calculating, patient, while simultaneously unwavering and iron-fisted.
Oh.
My goal is to obtain and wield power and rule with an iron fist. And I think that this senpai guy has something to do with that.
You might want to move it closer, too, towards...
That's kind of the gist. My character's very tactical, less waifu.
Okay. And let us know how everyone sounds as we adjust. Did that improve at all?
For Andy.
Andy, did that improve Andy's quality? Let us know. We can barely hear him. And Kels, why don't you start talking and introduce your character, and then hopefully chat can let us know how the audio is.
You said it didn't.
It did not.
I would say move that much closer to the television, because it'll be able to hear me just fine.
Okay. And let us know if you guys hear echo. Okay, Kels, why don't you go up?
Okay, I'm going to be playing Yuna Amai. I'm 5'1". I have light pink hair. My breasts are also double D. I have an AB positive blood type. Personality-wise, I am clumsy and sweet, and I am trying to win Senpai's heart. And what else am I... Oh, and my weapon is irresistible poison daifuku, which is like candy, sort of, treats.
Okay. And so how did that do? Is audio better, net worse? How are we doing? Just can chat give us a little bit of a... I think we did a test and I thought it was fine.
Yeah, we could hear them just
Okay,
fine.
good. Okay, good.
Blood type is important.
Blood type is very important. It's very important. If you ever read any manual from any video game or anime, blood type is very critical.
The good thing to know is if Satsuki loses any blood, then we can harvest some O-negative blood from Okemi's breasts directly into Satsuki.
Okay. So...
Poor Andy. I didn't realize we had the same blood type.
Okay. We're just going to go...
Random happenstance.
I'm definitely just gonna die.
Okay. So, the campaign session begins at Takoyaki High School in Tokyo, Japan. You three are in line at the cafeteria, and you are lining up to get your lunch, and you see that Mr. Waisaru is serving out these large rice bowls, a lot of different rice dishes, some stuff that would be street food. It's a good day at the cafeteria. You are all standing in line. Right behind you is your best friend, Marissa Chan. She is a Neko girl with cat ears and a cat tail. Also in a schoolgirl uniform, matching, just like all of yours. And she is right behind you, and as she looks at all of these foods, she picks up a bowl of rice with a seaweed wrapper, and she picks it up and says, "Yum, jelly donuts!" And she puts it on her tray. Oh, I hope they have...
Classic.
I hope they have bento boxes. Bento boxes are Watashi's favorite.
Marissa Chan, please. Always about the bento boxes. We have more important things to worry about, like our studies.
Nothing's more important than bento boxes, right, Mr. What's the fuck did I name him?
Oh, is it the senpai?
No, he's talking to Budo Waisaru, who is handing over these things. Says, "Hello, that's what I was saying. Nothing really beats a good bento box made by yours truly." And he hands you all of your food. And as you're standing there, all of you notice at the same time. It's almost as if a pink filter goes over the screen, and hearts kind of pop up around. You see your senpai, all of you, have had certain feelings for him previously. He's not the tallest, he's not the strongest or the biggest, but he has about shoulder-length blonde hair, and he's very bookish. His name is Charmin, and the party picks the senpai. The party picks the senpai, by the way. Charmin, he walks in, he's holding some books, he sits down at a table. He seems to be with some friends. And what are you guys going to do?
Oh boy! Isn't he just the cutest?
He's not that cute.
He's really cute. Oh boy. I
It's
feel
not
like
like I like him or anything.
I didn't see
I'm
you
gonna
did.
stare wide-eyed and just drop my tray of food.
Oh, let me get that for you. And I'll pick it up and then like sneak to the side and eat a little bit of it and then give it back to her.
You do that. As you do that, Mr. Weissman says, "Hey, it took me 4 hours to make that plate." And so you hand back the food, and you are going to... What are you guys going to do?
Should we talk to him? I've always wanted to talk to him, but every time he comes near my throat, it chokes up, and then and then I'm just going to eat all of the rice that's on my plate.
I know, it's not like I want to, but I have important school business to discuss with Charmin, so I think I'll head over there.
I'll call everyone. I'll talk to him.
Marissa Chan looks at you and says, "Well, I'm going to go eat my bento box. I'll be over here." And she walks off and sits down with her tray. What are you guys going to do? You guys going to walk up to Charmin as he sits down? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow along, just shoving food into my mouth.
So, you all three of you walk up to Charmin. He's sitting there. As soon as he kind of feels your presence, the shadow of three looming girls, he kind of turns around and says, "Oh, hey guys, what's up?"
Charmin, please stop that quivering. We have very important business we need to discuss. Perhaps we should set up a private meeting, just you and I. Not like I want it to be private, I just think it's best that way.
I'm gonna elbow Satsuki and say, don't be so forward.
Yeah, I'll be there in the meeting.
Well, like a study group?
This is very important class president business that we need to discuss.
I'll be free, at 6th period. I sure hope nothing bad happened before that.
I do not be a minute late, thank you.
Okay, bye. He looks incredibly intimidated, by you as, are the rest of you gonna leave?
Yeah, I'm gonna turn and look at him and go, bye! And then just run off with them.
Bye!
Oh my god, Satsuki! I talked to him! I talked to him for the first time! Wow. I was charming, wasn't I?
Now, listen, this has been great, but I have to get to class. As you know, I have the highest marks in the school, and I intend to keep it that way, so I'm going to be on my way.
I'll follow you, just to make sure nothing bad happens to you either. You're now, like, my favorite. I never would have had the courage to do that on my own.
Okay. So you're all sitting back down with Marissa Chan. She's there. She's finishing up her food, and she looks at you. So how did it go? Are you gonna go meet with Charmin?
We have a tentative meeting set, and I believe that he'll be punctual.
Are you gonna share him, or is this gonna be one of those harem things that never happens in Japanese high schools?
Well,
This isn't about sharing anyone. It's about important school president business.
I'm really good
Would
at
never
sharing.
choose me anyway.
Well, he might choose you if you're with, like, really cute people. You know, you are who you're friends with. And you're friends with Satsuki.
So, as you're all sitting down and enjoying your lunch and you're kind of talking, Satsuki, you're probably getting ready to finish up and go to your class, and suddenly you kind of notice the windows was what was a bright summer day with you had been outside earlier and it sounded like there's the hum of the cicadas, the occasional squawk of the bird, and suddenly the sky goes dark in the middle of the day. And you hear kind of the murmuring of all the classmates. Like, oh, what's that? Hey, what's happening? And all of a sudden, as the darkness turns to what's almost like a sickly, dull, blood-red light, as it looks outside as if the entire landscape all around you has been cast in this strange red light.
I cannot believe that someone would have the gall to interrupt our studies like this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think it's a full moon. I do a lot with astronomical stuff, and isn't a blood moon or anything. What is this?
And as soon as this happens, you can kind of look outside, and you see some of the students pointing up. What's going on? And they're all pointing up, and you're able to see, as you kind of go around and look, that it looks as if there is a strange red eclipse going on.
Thank you, Winnie, for the
Oh,
cheese.
thank you, Winnie.
Thank you.
Strange red eclipse. And all of a sudden, as soon as you all look to see it, all of the windows shatter. You hear screams, just screams left and right. And almost as soon as you blink, there are hooded figures all around the cafeteria. They're all wearing masks that seem to be in these grotesque facades of fish all different styles, but they all seem to be this very fishy structure as they all start kind of walking menacingly towards. Oh, thank you guys. As they all kind of look around. There's a bell ringing, the fire alarm is going, just people are screaming as they're making their way through the entrance. You see that there's a number of them looking at you, or at least facing all three of you menacingly. What are you guys going to do?
So it's definitely menacing, right? Are they violently attacking anyone?
You see as a couple are going, they're like going to some students and grabbing their arm and looking at them and then yanking them and throwing them aside, and they're all looking for someone.
Oh, then I'm gonna. As soon as I see them starting to get rough and tumble, I'm gonna stand up with one hand on the Bakuzan, and I'm gonna yell, "You cannot treat fellow students like this!"
And I'm gonna do the same thing, but I'm gonna jump up with my hands on my hips and go, "Yes! The uglier you get, the cuter I am in this cafeteria. Come to me and grace my cuteness."
Okay, roll for waifu.
Oh, jeez.
And roll 2 dice.
Oh, good. 2 and a 1.
2 and a 1. So, as they all look at you and you get on the table and say this, your number was a 2.
Yes.
Right? So you are able to ask me something, but it is a failure. And so you did not roll any dice higher than that.
Nope.
So they all look at you and they all turn around. Not only are they not drawn towards your presence, they all turn around and you can kind of see that many of them, some of them are kind of heading out in different directions, but a good bulk of them have then circled your dear senpai, Charmin. You can hear him saying, "Oh, who are you guys? I don't know. We just wanted to study for social studies." And
I draw the Bakuzan, and I, with my incredible physical prowess and almost superhuman speed, I launch from the table with the Bakuzan drawn, ready to strike. And I yell, "Don't take him! It's not because I like him. We have an outstanding meeting."
Okay, are you going to attack them? What do you want to do?
Yeah, I'm ready to strike. I'm coming in, baby.
Okay, roll 2 dice for tactical.
Roll a 3 and a 1.
3 and a 1, so that's both under your number. So that is a success. That is a straight success. So you leap off the table after trying to get their after Okemi trying to get their attention, and you are just slicing through these hooded figures. As there's just blood and gore spraying, people are screaming even more as your sword is just cutting these seeming cultists down. But as you're cutting through these throngs, you're making your way through this throng of cultists. But it seems as if more and more and more keep rushing, and so you are able to kind of lead your party about halfway across the cafeteria in the direction of Charmin, as some cultists seem to start grabbing him around the shoulders and are starting to drag him off. What are you guys doing?
I want to pull a flashbang from my backpack, pull the pin, and I shout to the other waifus, "Cover your eyes!" and I throw a flashbang into the crowd.
I'm going to immediately cover my... Oh, sorry, go Kels.
I was just going to say, I'm just going to duck behind the table.
Okay.
I'm going to cover my eyes and turn over, like, on top of the thing, and you can see that I've got a cute little panda tail coming out of the back of my skirt.
Okay. Marissa Chan, you see her cowering as you dive underneath. You also can ask me a question real quick.
Oh,
Any question you like, or you can
did Senpai notice me?
I would say he definitely did notice your presence for sure.
Great.
For sure. So he was even in his mumbling and shrieking, he kind of looked over. He kind of made half eye contact as he was fearing for his life.
For the first time.
Okay, roll 1 die, Satsuki. 1. Okay, so that's 1 die. That is a kind of half success, and so you are able to fling the grenade, and both of you, Okemi and Yuna, dive down and cover your eyes. The flashbang goes off, and it is incredibly blinding. it seems to have blinded a ton of the cultists. However, Satsuki, you are unable to, in your aggression, you are unable, and it affects you too. And so you have to, you are not able to see. Your vision just goes out from your own grenade. Kind of your excitement and your adrenaline preventing you from really shielding your eyes from this.
Can I be so foolish?
I'm gonna hop up and start grabbing things off the lunch tables, like trays and like apples and just anything I can find, and throwing them forcefully at the hooded figures.
I want to help her with this.
Okay.
I want to like roll over. Yes, use the food. Get it. You can do it. You're so cute. Cuteness will win. And I'm trying to use my waifu.
Roll for
Oh,
waifu.
I'm not really that cute. No one's ever gonna
I
do it.
got a 1.
Maybe you can just get different dice.
These are your dice.
Yeah, they're horrible. They roll terribly. And so you hear that as you're doing this, Okemi, you're kind of shouting this all out to Yuna, and Yuna, you're just not able to hear it amongst all the commotion, especially after people are shrieking from the flashbang grenade going off, and then you see Sasa kind of covering her eyes, and you're just throwing fruit. And I'm going to say preference of waifu or waifu or tactical, because it's aggressive but it's cute. So
I'm gonna do tactical. What do I roll? 1 bit, 2 bit?
I would say for this, you roll 2. Roll 2.
Right, I add them? Is that how that works?
So no, you just do how many successes. So you need to roll, if it's tactical, it needs to be underneath your number. So it needs to be a 2 or a 1. For success. Okay. So both fail?
Yes.
So
Did you get a 3?
I did get a 3.
So a 3, you're able, if you get a 3, you're able to ask me a question, and I will answer.
Yeah, anytime
So-
you get your number, you can ask.
Anytime you hit your number, you can ask me a question. So you begin just grabbing food from everyone's plates. You kind of grab the last bit of rice off of Marissa Chan's bento box. You just, no, I was saving that for after the attack! And you're just chucking it. But for whatever reason, this fruit is not stopping them as you see them grab Charmin. And there are 2 that have managed to seemingly keep their vision, even with these masks. And they drag Charmin out of the hallway. You can ask me any question you want.
What is Sherman's favorite subject in school?
His favorite subject in school is math.
Titans!
Diamonds! His favorite subject is diamonds. No, it's math. So, with that, Satsuki, you're kind of, it takes you a bit longer, but you finally you're blinking, you're rubbing your eyes, you finally come back to your senses. You're kind of all reconvening, and you see Mr. Waisuru kind of come up and say, I have no idea what just happened, but a bunch of creepy fishmen just stole that kid.
Are any of the cultists that I cut down or flashbanged still disoriented and or not dead?
There is a good number of cultists that are not dead. I would say there's probably about maybe 6 or 7 that have not left or are still alive.
Do you want to move the mic over that way so it's pointing towards the TV and kind of by you, like towards the corner where we normally have it?
Oh, like here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I turn to Yuna and Okemi and suggest we should try to round these cultists up. We need to find out as much information as we can, and we need to figure out what they're doing with Charmin. Again, it's not because I like him or anything. We have an outstanding appointment.
Oh, okay. Anything that you want, I'll do it.
What are you gonna do?
Yuna, are you in?
Yes.
We begin to try to incapacitate or tie up, I suppose, some of these cultists and prepare to question them.
Okay, so as Charmin seems to be long gone, as who's going to be doing that, and does anyone want to assist?
We can all do it.
Yeah. I'll help out by taking whatever rice I can find on the floor and using it. I'm just gonna like be rubbing it all over them.
I'm gonna get things out of you. I'm gonna keep rubbing rice on you until you answer my questions.
And trying to make them feel uncomfortable. The random cultists that are still around.
Okay. Roll for waifu.
No.
So as you're trying to subdue them, it's becoming a bit more difficult. So why don't you roll, Satsuki?
I want to try to be as intimidating as possible.
Okay, why don't we do tactical on that?
Yep. 1 die or 2?
2. Yeah, 2.
I got a 3 and a 5, so one of them's under, one of them tied.
Okay, so you can ask me any question. So it is a kind of half success. So you are able to kind of get most of them subdued. It seems as if kind of in your rage and bloodshed, you like gravely wounded a lot of these cultists. You can kind of see that some are able to kind of limp away, but you are the 3 of you managed to subdue one of the cultists, and it seems to be alive, not gravely wounded.
The question that I want to ask you before we interrogate the cultists is, have I seen this mask cloak combo before in my life?
I would say no.
Okay.
Okay, so you have around you, all of the students have sprinted away and they fled, and you're kind of seeing this the bloodshed of these cultists, the ones that did escape. You see that there are a few students that unfortunately didn't make it. The cultists you can kind of see that they've cut some throats. It was a pretty bad scene. There's glass everywhere. People are screaming and crying. The alarm is still going. You can kind of see that one of the cultists is kind of it's bound and its mask still on, and it is looking at you intently, towards you at least with its mask.
Before we ask it any questions, I draw the Bakusan and I put it up against its throat and I say, "You will pay for every life that you've taken from Takayaki High. President Satsuki Kiryuin will not rest until every life is avenged."
I would roll 1. That's not actually, you're not attempting anything. So what do you guys? So it kind of looks at you. He looks at you, and it just is looking dead on at you, and just doesn't do anything.
I use the sword to knock the mask off.
Make a tactical with 1 die.
4.
4. It flies. It knocks and it flies off, and you see that it is a person, and they actually seem to be surprisingly young, probably about your age. It seems to be a boy, very nondescript, looks incredibly generic, and he's just looking at you, glaring, and he starts to kind of move something around in his cheek.
I want to stuff my hand in his mouth so that he can't swallow the cyanide capsule that he's trying to get out of the back of his tooth.
Make a tactical.
Can I help?
If you want to, yeah.
So I'm going to flop down on his stomach while eating some of the rice that's on the floor.
You're really cute, but you're not as cute as Senpai. What do you want with him?
Make a waifu
So
with
hoping
2
that
dice.
it'll cause him to go and open his mouth.
Waifu with 2 dice.
A 5 and a 2.
Okay, so that is a success. So it's a success. So
And 2, I get to ask a question.
yes, you get to ask a question. So you get a success. So you
I got a 6.
You add a 6. So but you get +1 from her, and
So he gets to roll another die.
oh, you get to roll another die. Yep.
Yeah, if you succeed, they get 1 more die.
2.
I got a 2.
Okay. So the first one fails, and it looks like he kind of goes as his mouth opens a little bit. You start to see that there's foam building up around his lips, as it looks like it worked, but it wasn't immediate. And he looks like you may have time for one question, one thing that you want to say.
I think you should ask.
It's your funeral.
Go ahead.
Are you jealous of Senpai? Is that why you took him?
he looks at you and he says, "Your senpai will bring back our god."
Oh my god. I knew it! Satsuki.
And he dies.
Really pretty girl that I'm a little bit jealous of. I think that he's a god. I think that's what he said. I think that's what he meant.
There's no way that quivering fool is a god. There's no way.
Wait, did you just call our senpai a quivering fool? He is Charmin Ultra. The most ultra of all boys in this entire school.
I don't misspeak.
Well, if you weren't so powerful and strong and my best friend, I would leave right now because I'm offended, but I will stay anyway. Just don't say it again, Satsuki. Don't.
Do we have any idea where these cultists may have gone? Is there maybe we should try to find a blood trail or something to see if there's any indication of the direction they may have gone with Charmin. Again, I'm only interested in our outstanding appointment.
You have a question, maybe.
Oh, I do.
And it can be about, like, it could be helpful information as well.
Oh, okay. So I guess I will ask, did it look like they all went in a specific direction, or did it seem like did they scatter? Did they all stay together and go in a specific direction? That's, I guess, what I want to know.
You look around, and I think that they seem to have gone in a specific direction, and you get the sense that once they got to the perimeter of the high school, all sense and trails of them stop. However, you would, as you're all thinking about it, you actually remember that this sounds kind of familiar to something, maybe not something that you've seen, but something that you've heard about. And this is where you would remember, as I would explain, that the three of you are the co-presidents of, what is the club? Hold on. Of the Tactical Explosives Club.
No.
Who is sponsored by Mr. Tonkatsu and Tonkatsu, who is the alternative history teacher.
Alternative history.
He was former military, and he came back to teach history, and he kind of ranted and raved about a lot of things he heard, but he did mention some strange fish cult that he had heard about, and he swore existed, and was lurking around the school. And you probably get the sense that he may know something.
First off, I want to say, as the class president of Takoyaki High and co-president of the Tactical Explosives Club, I'm a little disappointed in you two ladies for not using any of your tactical explosives. I was the only one who came prepared. We've talked about this. Preparedness is key to survival and success.
Well, I tried to use my rice bomb, but I ate half of it beforehand.
Perhaps we should go speak with our alternative history teacher and the supervisor of our Tactical Explosives Club. He may have some more information about this fish cult.
Sure.
Let's bring one of the masks. Maybe he'll recognize it.
Good thinking.
Okay. So you grab a mask and you take it with you as you leave, and you see Mr. Waisaru kind of helping Marissa Chan to her feet, and he looks over and says, "Well, I'm sure glad they didn't come for me. That poor kid, though, he's probably dead." And Marissa Chan looks at you and says, "Well, this is all very scary for me, so I don't want to go with you on any adventure, but you can take my talking, flying platypus friend, Poyo Poyo, to help on your adventure."
Oh my god, I've always wanted a talking platypus friend. Yes, I call shotgun.
And
Has
immediately...
it been here the whole time?
What was that, Kelsey?
Has it been here the whole time?
Well, it has. And she opens her backpack, and out flies a platypus with wings. He flaps around, and he kind of looks at all of you, and he groans, and he says, "I should have called in sick today."
I feel like we have a new senpai. Platypus Mount is new senpai.
My heart, or my eyes turn into literal hearts and like bulge out of my head a little bit.
Is this out of the ordinary for the three of us, or do we see this creature and we're just kind of like, yeah, no big deal?
You're in an anime high school. Marissa Chan is a Neko girl. It's
just another day that ends in Y.
Yeah.
Platypus creatures.
Yeah. He says, so are we going to Mr. Tonkotsu's place? Hopefully he isn't dead.
Yes, that's the plan. And no, if you've ever met our alternative history teacher, you would know that he's always prepared, and that's how we learned to be so prepared. Well, some of us. Let's go find him.
Yeah, like me, always prepared. And also, if you know him at all, you know he's never dead. So I think we're fine.
Okay. And so all of you head down the hallways. Most of the students have fled. You make your way down to Mr. Tonkotsu's office, where his main room, and as you look around, you see that around the door there is just a smear of blood. As you get closer, you see that there seems to be, you can see that there's a square window on the door looking into this classroom. And you see that there's like just barricades of desks and chairs and the like, kind of just barricaded all up in front, from barricading the door from inside the classroom.
I'm going to rear back my fists and punch the door in, hoping to punch all of the things straight through. I'm coming for you!
Can I get a tactical?
Yeah.
Tactical roll.
So I have to roll below a 2. Nope, first 4 I've gotten all night. First 4, fellas, the first 4.
So you see Okemi go, yeah, and then she punches, and
Ow!
It really stings.
That's smart. So
I want to try to recall what our alternate history teacher would have taught us to do in an emergency, including secret knocks and secret signals, so he would know that it's us. Because of course he would prepare us in case of an emergency.
I would say just roll 1 die for tactical.
At a 4.
A 4. So, you remember that what he told you, but it was just basically kill your enemies, don't stop until they're all dead. That was...
I want to shout that through the door.
Are you going to shout it?
Yeah, but I already forgot what you said.
Okay.
Kill all your enemies. My character would never forget anything. She's too sharp.
Fine.
Andy, on the other hand, is not that sharp.
You hear a voice from the other side immediately, and said, I'm already way ahead of you. Is that you girls?
Yes, alternate history teacher, it's us. Please let us in. We're here to help you.
You hear like the rustling as all of the clattering barricade just gets yanked away, and the door cracks open. You see the wild eye of Mr. Tonkotsu, who is a balding, pudgy man, but surprisingly strong. As he heaves the door open, he says, "Well, I knew those fish cultists wouldn't be no match for my 3 queens."
ooh, you have royalty?
Well, I mean, you girls are proving yourselves absolutely. You're the queens of the club. The queens and the only members of the club, yeah.
Wow. That's just the cutest thing anyone's ever said.
Well, I try to be cute. I mean, a lot of people say that I'm very cute. In the military, I was especially cute. So why don't you come on in, ignore the corpses of the dirty fish cultists I killed with my bare hands. And you look in the corner that there are 3 of these cultists dead in the corner. Some have seemed to have had their guts ripped out. It's pretty brutal. And you also see kind of piled up in various corners of this room are piles of explosives, weaponry, crates of supplies, and the like. And you see 4 walkie-talkies kind of laid out on the desk. As he shuts the door, locks it, and kind of pulls the barricade back in front of the door. And he looks at you and says, "Well, I knew this day would come. You all did too, didn't you? I've been talking to you ever since y'all were freshmen."
You mean
Listen, Sorry, go ahead.
You knew of a day in which Senpai would be taken from us? Too soon. Much too soon.
They got him, huh?
Yeah, they got him.
Not only did they take the young man that I was looking to have a meeting with, and I've never missed a meeting in my life, they've killed students on high school grounds. We cannot allow that to be.
Well, I hate to say it, but I think there are bigger fish to fry in this situation than dead high school students. May they rest in peace.
Yeah, like the actual fish cultists. Oh, that was funny.
That's pretty good. That was an unintended pun. I'm cute and funny. I get it all from you, Akemi. So, that, ladies and gentlemen, girls, was the cult of Hentagog Dojinax.
Hentagog?
Hentagog Dojinax. Henta-do apostrophe Dojinaxx.
Yep.
Buckle your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen.
Tentacles in our future.
It's the cult that is trying to resurrect the horrible dark god, Hentagog Dojinax. And it very well seems like this blood moon eclipse was the first part of their plan. I don't know what they wanted with your friend, Shark? What was his name? Shark Mom? What was...
Oh my god, Charmin! He's the most ultra of all senpais.
Sharkmong, okay. Well, it is said that they need a virgin sacrifice in order to summon...
The moment he says this, Okemi's eyes get like double the size.
He's waiting for me.
Well...
We shouldn't be talking about such uncouth things.
Well, maybe you should have gotten to him sooner so they wouldn't have taken him, I suppose. But y'all are too young for that. Although then again, by the time I was your age, I had literally hundreds of women. But that's neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. There is good news, though. There's good news.
Well, please tell us. We don't have time to waste.
I've spent my entire life, after discovering this god and his horrible cult, researching ways to stop it because I knew the day would come. And
Do you know where they hide out or where their lair may be?
well, I'm still trying to find exactly where their lair would be, but I do know what can stop Hentagog Dojinax.
Do you know their weakness?
I do. They are, and I read in an ancient book from an ancient library, the wands of ascending infinite force and unity. Waifu for short. And there are exactly 3 of them, spread all over the world and guarded by some bad hombres. And I know that you girls are the only ones that can gather all 3 and defeat Hentagog Dojinax.
So you're telling me that we're going to be traveling all around the world. I've always wanted to see what's outside of Japan.
Yay, we can ride on that platypus thing forever.
Well, no, you're not gonna and Puyo Puyo looks at you and says, "I'm not being paid hazard pay for this." And Mr.
It's a living.
Mr. Tonkutsu looks at you and says, "Well, I have your transportation. I have sources, buddies from the military. I will call on all of them. Helicopter anywhere in the world, airdrop, supplies, whatever you need. You girls just need to be the ones to find these wands. I know where they are. I know their names. I have all of the information. I'm exposition dropping on you right now."
The full name of the wand again? Wand of Ascending something?
So there are 3 wands of ascending infinite force and unity.
Infinite, got it.
Infinite force and unity. So, the first wand the Mac wand, MAC. That I've tracked down to a temple in the Cambodian jungle. The second wand, the Guff wand. That is, I believe, in the mountains of Transylvania. And then finally, the In wand, I've tracked to the most dangerous of all the places on the planet, the United States of America.
You're the stupidest person.
I've always wanted to go to America.
Somewhere outside of this place called Massachusetts. I don't know. Somewhere in Massachusetts. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Beats me.
Those are the 3 wands of whatever the fuck. Wands of ascending infinite force and unity.
So, besides knowing where potentially one of the wands is in America, do you have any other leads on where the other wands might be? We need to leave immediately.
I'll give you the general coordinates of where I think all of them are. Here you go. He hands you the
Perfect.
He hands you the coordinates of where each of them are, labeled very neatly, as if it was like a menu. It actually pulls up in your inventory HUD a map of the 3 locations, kind of a blinking, tells you the wand, tells you all of the information.
That's even better. I was going to suggest we put them into our flip phones with our good text plans.
You could also do that if you would prefer.
I like the futuristic HUD much better.
And he hands each of you a walkie-talkie. And he says, "Oh, you'll be able to reach me 24 hours a day because I never sleep. I have lost too many friends to a good snooze. So any 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, if you need me, helicopter anywhere in the world, an airdrop of supplies, you let me know, and my excellent sources will hook you up."
All right, we appreciate it. Ladies, we must mobilize and head out for the first wand now. I think we should save America for last, and probably start with the coordinates that are closest to us. I'm going to assume that's the Mac wand.
I was thinking it was probably Guff in Transylvania.
I'm fine with either, but let's save America for last. It seems like that would be the best way to go in the storytelling, story thing.
I agree completely. But alternate history teacher, you said that we could have anything that we needed?
Supplies, if I have it, yeah, sure.
I have a supply that I need.
What do you need?
A chipmunk.
A chipmunk?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me see, hold on. He goes and roots around. He roots around in his desk. He pulls open a drawer. And can you please make a waifu with 2 dice, please?
5 and a 2.
5 and a 2.
So I rolled above, and I got my own number. So is that good? It's good, right, for waifu?
It still doesn't count. If you roll your own number, you have to roll over it.
I got a 5 and a 2.
It's a success.
Okay.
It's a success, but not entirely. So 2 is just a straight success. So he goes, oh, hold on. You see him like just critters are just flinging out of his desk. Like you see like a frog and you hear it ribbit and like a rat and a bat. And he reaches out and he pulls out this chipmunk. And it's chipmunk, but it's looking rough. His tail's all scrappy. He's looking kind of, here you go. He kind of chucks it at you.
Oh, thanks. I'm going to name him Plot Armor.
And then I'm going to put him in my pocket.
It squeaks. And as it sits nestled in your pocket, and you can ask me a question.
Alternate history teacher.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a good idea if we look for the Guff wand first?
Well, I mean, you can look for whatever one in whatever order you want. If you want to go to Transylvania, you can do that. But I do know that all 3 wands will only activate when all 3 are together.
Okay.
All right. Well, then I'm fine with whatever order you think is best. Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Well, if you're ready, and if beautiful girl that's with us is ready, and if Plot Armor, are you ready? We're ready. Let's go.
Puyo rolls his eye and says, "Here we go again." Mr. Tonkotsu opens the door and says, "Well, Best of luck. Try not to die. I got a chopper out back ready to take you to Transylvania. And so you all hop in, and so you tell the helicopter pilot where you want to go. Where you guys want to go?
Sorry, I'm mixing my mutes. Oh, Kemi, do you have the first coordinates?
Yes, I do.
Let's tell them to the pilot and get out of here. Get an airdrop in as safely as we can.
I open my flip phone, and this really awesome, hologram shows up, showing the coordinates on a map, and it spins around and it pinpoints the coordinates in Transylvania.
Okay. So, you all take off. The pilot nods. He doesn't say anything as your helicopter takes off. And in a very brief montage, a map shows up, and a little dotted line with the helicopter travels across the map from Japan down into Transylvania in the mountains. When you arrive, of course, it is a dark night with a full moon. As you can kind of, it's a very cloudy evening. You see the occasional strikes of lightning. It's very difficult to get to exactly where the coordinates are, but he does land you in the mountains on a little cliffside, and you're all able to just pile off with your gear, and he takes off, and you hear the radio signal. It's Mr. Tonkotsu. He says, he'll be around to pick you up whenever you need, and you want to be careful with this guy that guards the second wand. I hear he's a rough customer. I don't know if you've heard of the ancient legends of Dracula.
No.
Well, I think it might be Dracula.
Oh no. Is that in the newest edition of Fairy Tale that just came out like a week ago? Did they talk about it there?
It'll be fine. It'll be just like your Chinese cartoons. It'll be fine. Okay, bye.
So you're telling... Wait, don't go yet. You're telling me that an actual Dracula is potentially guarding this wand?
Something like that. I don't have 100% information. It's just whatever I can research.
All right, ladies. Maybe drop us like a mile out from the castle, I tell the pilot, and we'll...
You guys are about a mile out. You guys are about a mile out from where you guys are supposed to go.
All right, we'll have to trek in. What is it, like nighttime?
It's nighttime, yeah.
Let's move quickly and under the cover of darkness and see if we can breach the castle. I still have a few more flashbangs and some other grenades that we might be able to use to breach the wall and see what we can do. I believe I have some C4 charges that we can use to blow a hole in the middle of the wall if we need to.
As he says this, I'm pulling rice out of my massive cleavage and shoving it into the cheeks of my chipmunk of plot armor.
Okay, plot armor, this is what I need you to do. You're fed, you're ready. I want you to scamper through the bushes and try and leave us a rice trail to follow. The safest, most effective rice trail to follow.
I would say roll 2 dice for waifu.
1 and a 4.
Okay.
So a fail and a success.
It's rice is stuffed into plot armor's cheeks, and it just looks up at you, blinks, and scampers off. And with that, you're about a mile away. You make your way through the mountain passes of Transylvania, and as you kind of turn around a bend, a loud rumbling of thunder and a crack of lightning, and you see a huge castle illuminated ahead of you. You hear kind of the chittering of bats that sort of kind of swirl around and swarm around the several of the turrets of this castle, and you see the long, narrow stone bridge leading towards a huge double door that seems to be the main door entrance to this castle that doesn't seem to have any walls.
Well, okay, perhaps my initial plan wasn't the way to go here. What do you think, ladies?
Well, I think that we could see if plot armor leaves us a trail of rice to get into a back way or something. But that's all I've got.
Oh, that's brilliant. Did we see any rice on the ground? Did you follow him at all?
Well, I stopped looking. I was busy eating. I have some Pocky.
Gnawing on some Pocky.
Okay. I would say that so you spend some time to look for the trail that plot armor left, and it goes down a very treacherous walkway, but it actually goes a separate way from the main entrance. You notice that there's a rickety rope bridge where there's a little grain of rice on each wooden plank, and they're kind of rolling around. And as you see kind of up ahead, there seems to be a small circular grate where this kind of sludge is being drained out of the castle, where plot armor seems to have led a trail.
Yes, I knew he would come in handy.
Okay.
How big is this opening?
So you're on the other side of the rope bridge, so you'll need to cross it.
Okay, so we can't tell. We can just see the. Okay.
Yeah, and so it's far off. It looks like it's a pretty large circular entrance.
Sturdy. Does the rope bridge look sturdy? Can we inspect the rope bridge for integrity?
It's looking rickety. You'd have to, it would be it's tough, but you think you may be able to do it.
All right, ladies. I think we don't have any choice. We have to cross the bridge.
You better go one at a time. I think you should go first.
Yes, I agree.
I look at them and I say, "Ask not the sparrow how the eagle soars," and I run across the bridge really, really fast.
Okay, so as you say that and you're sprinting across the bridge, you notice that just at the sheer speed that you're going, your foot kind of breaks through one of the planks. You see the rice grain fly off from plot armor, and what are you gonna do as you start to lose your footing?
I'd like to roll a tactical die to see if I can catch my balance and do a sweet ass kind of front flip tumble and land on my feet and keep.
Roll one die for tactical.
A 1.
A 1. Okay, so you manage to. You don't do anything cool like that. Your boot falls through as the wood splinters, and you kind of scrape your shin. You're all still wearing schoolgirl outfits. Remember, you scrape your shin. There's some blood on your your thigh highs. As you kind of manage to kind of stumble forward, you manage your grip, and rather than sprinting, you kind of just walk carefully across to the other edge.
I think these school uniforms are tactical battle combat uniforms, and this blood should come out no problem.
Okay. Satsuki made it.
Okay, and now it's your turn.
Oh.
I mean, it's always better to be in the middle, because then you go first, there's someone to get you on the other side, and you go, or, yeah, just go. Mm-hmm.
I agree, and everybody knows that the bridge breaks on the last person.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go next, and then I'll see you on the other side, okay?
Okay. I'm going to grab each side and just very, tepidly and slowly, tiptoe over the bridge.
Okay, so you take your time and you tepidly, slowly manage to kind of, after seeing where Satsuki had burst through, you manage to make your way across.
Okay.
I'm gonna get down on all fours, my panda tail up in the air. I'm gonna close my eyes and just kind of feel across as I'm going.
Oh, if you don't see it, it's not true. If you don't see it, it's not true.
I'm gonna try and get to the other
You do
side
that. You see Okemi with her little panda tail sticking up. Your massive cleaves kind of dragging along, knocking all the rice off.
Yep.
As it's being dragged along.
Kind of using them like antenna.
Steps. Yeah, exactly. You're using your hands and your big anime titties to kind of feel along the bridge as you manage to kind of heave your way over the plank that Satsuki broke, and you manage to all find yourself by this metal a large opening, almost like a pipe that this green sludge is pouring down out of, and they're just metal, just a simple metal grate on the end of it.
When I get to the other side, I'm gonna see Satsuki's bloodied knee and say, "Oh my gosh!" and then tear a piece of my shirt off and wrap her knee up.
Thank you. I appreciate you taking care of my knee. I'll be fine though. Thank you.
I ship it.
Puyo, who is also there, flies down and says, "It wasn't a good day to be afraid of heights." Okay, you're standing in front of a grate.
He's a
so
ship.
how big is the grate?
It's a large grate, and you get the sense that they're probably about
1.5 to 2 feet across. So basically, it's a grid of metal bars, and it's a large, probably 7 foot by 7 foot circle.
Before we go in, I want to call for a what is it? Call for a drop off. How do we do that?
An airdrop.
An airdrop.
Okay.
And I want a crate full of wooden stakes.
Okay. So you call into the radio for a crate full of wooden stakes. It takes about an hour if you guys want to wait that long. And you hear the as this huge propeller plane flies over you, and a crate on a parachute falls down and lands directly in front of you. You manage to open it, and it's just full of wooden stakes.
In the meantime, while we're waiting, can we do some recon and just kind of look around the general, left and right, do a perimeter check around the grate, try to get a bearing of our surroundings.
So you look inside. It's a very dark pipe. You kind of see this green sludge just coming down. It smells horrific. As you look up, it's kind of hard to see that the crags of the mountain are kind of blocking your view, but you manage to see bits of the castle up above you, the occasional crash of lightning illuminating it. But you're able to see that it doesn't really feel like there's much movement besides the occasional bats flying around.
In addition to the stakes, knowing what we're going to have to go through, I would have just told Okemi to also ask for tactical gas masks that we can wear to be ready for anything.
You have gas masks now.
Mine, I would have requested that mine was in the shape of a panda's face.
Okay. You're wearing a panda-shaped, with
a little pink bow.
Mr. Tonkotsu, he has it. He has it all ready for you. So you get that all airdropped, and you guys are ready to go.
I would have also requested garlic-scented stink bombs.
Okay. You have those.
All right, ladies, stand back. If the Bakuzan can't cut through this steel, then it must be something magical, or even more ancient than my Bakuzan katana. And I draw back and I slice through the bars as if I'm ready for the Bakuzan to cut through them like butter.
Roll 2 dice, please. Can I see the firing?
Sorry, draw all over.
Yeah, that's fine.
A 2 and a 3.
Okay, 2 and a 3.
2 successes. Nice.
So is that 2 successes?
Yeah.
So you take the Bakuzan and you just slice, and it's an instant motion, and then her hair blows in the wind as she holds her katana down, and it seems as if nothing happened, and then all of a sudden, all of the metal bars fall down, and you hear the loud clattering of metal echoing through the mountains as it falls down.
I turn, and then as I sheath my katana, I look over my shoulder to the ladies, I say, the lioness will use all her strength even when hunting a rabbit. And then I put my gas mask on and I step into the tunnel.
You do that.
I'll follow.
All of you are wearing gas masks, even Puyo, who has a platypus-shaped one, and is just flying behind you. And he says, "This smells worse than the boys' locker room," through his gas mask, as you make your way through this winding pipe of this green sludge that seems to be connected to some kind of internal sewer system. And you're not really sure what it is, and there are a few pathways, but you kind of manage to find your way eventually to an opening that's very cavernous. It's pitch black inside. And as you step in, that it seems to be kind of that this is where almost even unintentional, that kind of the pipe goes and veers off to some other area, but as if the stone through the sheer age of this castle has kind of crumbled through, and you peek your heads out and you see this large cavernous area with a very dim light at the very far end of the cavern. You can kind of see this strange glint of metal and flickering firelight.
I'm gonna open my flip phone to try to shed some light on the area immediately around us.
Okay. Can you please give me a waifu?
I will see that, open mine, and help her.
Okay, waifu. You roll for waifu for 2.
I'm in 2.
What? Yeah.
Yes, I succeeded.
Waifu for 2.
Do I have to roll higher or lower than a 5?
Higher for waifu.
Higher.
I got a 1.
Okay, so you don't help at all. You can't figure out how the flashlight app works. So you roll 3d 6. Kels, you know.
I matched my 3 twice and got a 5.
Okay.
Wow.
So you are able to ask me 3 questions, and the light kind of casts, and you see that there seems to be a stone walkway as that seems to kind of be this. There's this huge cavern, and there's a stone walkway that this opening is connected to, and it seems to go deep into the cavern. And you see something far off. It seems to be huge and rectangular and shiny metal, and you can kind of make out that there's candle light kind of flickering and illuminating this huge, seemingly rectangular shape. 2 questions for me as well.
Do I have to ask them now, or can I save them?
I would say within the next couple minutes, because it's relevant to the situation.
Okay. Okay, so you said I see a shiny rectangular thing.
It's very large and very far off.
Okay. Can I see if it's a door, or is that what it is?
It is clearly not a door.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay.
Second question?
Oh man, that counted as a question. Okay. Frack. I don't know. I can't think of anything. I'm gonna save it for...
Okay, save it. Just save it for a bit. Okay, so, are you guys going to continue?
We must move on.
Okay, so, you walk forward, step on this platform, approach closer and closer. You're all creeping. And as you start to get closer, you realize this massive shape. It almost looks like a giant shed or like a warehouse inside this cavern, and candles are surrounding it. And it's this brown color, but it's clearly metallic. And as you step forward, you realize that there's a huge metal structure that seems to be like a building, a warehouse, but it's in the shape of a coffin in the bottom of this cavern.
Oh no! Somebody died here. We should all moment of silence and pay our respects.
I don't respect our enemies. We must cut them down swiftly and retrieve the wand.
Well, I don't know if it's our enemy, right? I thought this was just the place where the wand was kept and we're looking for the cultists. I could be wrong. I would have to ask plot armor.
Okay.
I'm gonna venture
you
closer.
said this is a warehouse-sized coffin?
Yeah, basically.
There appear to be any doors or anything?
Not that you can see. It seems like there's a huge lid on the top. And so as you approach, all of a sudden, you hear a loud clang. And the lid, massive lid of this metallic coffin flies over. And you hear a rumbling voice. It sounds like it's coming from speakers. And they sound like really old speakers, like from the 80s. But it sounds like, "Did you come expecting Dracula?"
Well, that's what our alternative history teacher told us to expect.
"I bet you weren't expecting Mecha Dracula!" Immediately, a massive shape, Mecha Dracula, leaps out of this huge coffin, and you see thrusters rocketing upwards, and what looks like a huge cape fans out, and in this flash of light, the candles all erupt in this light illuminating the whole cavern, and you see a very large robotic figure, a large black cape. It's almost entirely black, the occasional flourish of red and white and gray, as you see that there is a V on its forehead, in kind of with jagged bat wings,
and it seems to be humanoid with two large metal fangs coming down from its robot head, and there's this huge robot Dracula looking down at you, and you can see at the center of its chest seems to be a strange, bright, kind of bright green star shape embedded into its chest.
As soon as we see Mecha Dracula in all of his glory, I shout at him, "Our wooden stakes will be the ones that pierce the heavens!" And I look at Okemi and I say, "Now! Throw the stakes!"
I'm gonna start throwing stakes at Mecha Dracula. I'm gonna aim for like around the green circle, like.
Okay.
That's what I'm gonna
So
do.
you roll 1 die. Actually, 2 die because you came prepared.
Once Okemi starts throwing the stakes, I'm going to immediately start running to the left to try to circle Mecha
No.
Dracula from behind.
Yeah. So you need to get below.
Yeah.
No, you need to get above because your number's 2.
No, but I'm doing tactical.
Oh, you're in tactical. So
I would have to get below, and I got a 3 and a 6.
yes. So Okemi yanks up all of the stakes and just starts throwing them. Mecha Dracula just starts stepping towards you as they're just splintering on the thick metal armor. And you hear the same voice that says, "Well, you know what will pierce the heavens? My gravedigger's drill!" And his hand turns into like this rusty shovel drill that is then going to go directly towards the group of you. What are you guys doing?
I want to try to dodge to the right, and if my dodge is successful, I want to start running around to try to circle him from behind.
Okay, you're trying to
So-
dodge. Tactical roll for 1.
So it's a drill, you said?
It's a drill.
So it's like spinning?
Yeah.
I want to try to jump up into the air, dive at it so that the drill's going into my cleavage, smashing it, trying to stop the drill from drilling.
Okay. So you got a 4. That's just a one success. You manage to kind of not get completely horribly eviscerated, but you stumble and kind of roll as this drill smashes into where you are. Let's get a waifu roll for you for 2.
I'm gonna
Both
try to
succeed.
dodge back.
Okay, can you
And
go ahead?
I'm gonna try to dodge back and then throw some of my sticky daifuku up into like the visual sensors of his face.
Okay, can you make a waifu roll for 2, please?
I got a 6, which is that pass?
Yep, that's
Yep.
a pass.
And a 2, which fails.
Which fails. So you notice that there are 2 sheeming blood red glowing eyes that you probably get the sense are cameras, and you manage to get your daifuku onto 1, but there's still one gleaming red as the drill goes into Okemi's cleavage, her massive cleavage, and she presses them together, and he says, "What is this sorcery?" And it starts to spin, and the sheer force of it just stopping with those iron tits, the arm rips off and flies off into the cavern. Mecha Dracula has 1 arm left, and he only has 1 eye as he tumbles. As Sasuke, you tumble out of the way, and you manage to fall back down. Yuna, as Mecha Dracula's arm flies down, and he looks at you and says, "You know, Draculas don't have resurrection, even robot Draculas." And he is going to what is he going to do? He is going to kick the coffin, and he says, "Well, if you're sick of me already, how about you meet my old pal, Robo Frankenstein?" A door opens up, and you just hear a clanging robot, probably about like a good 6.5 feet tall, going. You see a large green Frankenstein's monster start to walk out towards you. What are you guys doing? As Mecha Dracula's kind of regaining himself.
So how tall is Mecha Dracula?
Mecha Dracula is probably a good, like, I don't know, 30 feet tall, not...
Okay, that's what I thought. So ignoring Mecha Frankenstein, I still want to try to get behind Mecha Dracula and, like, go for the ankles. I want to, like, look for, like, a mechanized ankle joint.
Okay. Okay. So he has mechanized joints. What are you going to do to him?
I want to take the C4 charge out of my pack and with blinding speed, run at his ankle joint, slap the C4 onto the ankle joint, get away, and blow the charge, and try to topple Mecha Dracula on his side. We've already dipped the drill, we might as well go for the leg.
Okay, make a tactical with 2 dice. Yeah, we'll say 2.
3 and a 2.
3 and a 2, so what is that? So 1?
2 successes.
2 successes? Okay.
Because I have a 5 for
Okay, that's right. So you see Satsuki sprint off. She quickly sheaths her katana as she runs up behind Mecha Dracula as he's kind of looking around for his arm. Robo Frankenstein is heading for both of you two as Satsuki manages to plant C4 on both of his legs. She hits the plunger, and you hear a loud and metal splinters everywhere. The shins on this robot splinter, and he collapses to the ground. Only now on Mecha knees. I don't know. Mecha knees, and on one arm, trying to hold himself up as Frankenstein is heading directly towards you guys to attack. What are you guys doing?
As he falls, I still have to deliver my one-liner. Sorry. I yell, a skyscraper built within your mind will never fall down.
Wow, if I...
I prefer castles to skyscrapers! What do you guys do?
I'm going... Are there, like, rocks or anything on the ground?
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll down both of my school uniform knee-highs and take them off and fill a little bit of rocks on these sides and tie them together into one of those, like, things that you throw at somebody to trip up their ankles. They have, like,
Okay, yeah.
Bola? What'd you say? Oh. Ebola.
Yeah.
Not Ebola.
Not Ebola. No.
Ebola.
Ebola.
Okay, so I'm going to make one of those out of my knee-high socks and throw it at Frankenstein's feet to try to trip him up.
Okay, what are you doing?
I see that she's doing this.
Yeah.
So I'm going to wait for her to, like, try to trip him up, and then try to time it so that I jump onto him as he's, like, falling down, and then I want to try and jump up and punch Dracula right in his chest star thing.
Okay, I need both. You need to make a tactical.
Yep.
And you need to make a tactical. And then I'll say, because it's your fist, you do 2.
Okay.
You do Bola, it's improvised, so we'll say that's a 1 die. 1 die.
So 1 fail and a 2, so I can ask a question.
Okay, so both fail. And what
I wanted to roll under a 3, right?
what was that?
Over.
Over.
Do I roll under or over a 3?
For tactical, it's under.
Under, yeah.
Okay, I failed.
Okay, so your improvised Bola swings and misses as Mecha Frankenstein swipes, and you feel these metal claws rend your uniform, Yuna, just tearing into it. Your underwear is kind of getting shredded, and it's definitely drawn blood as you're kind of knocked to the ground. Okemi.
I immediately blushed.
Okemi, you leap up and try to punch. Unfortunately, Mecha Dracula, despite having kind of just lost its shins, manages to swat you down with its one free hand, kind of falling down. You get smashed down. You kind of tumble into Yuna, and you kind of collapse on each other in a mildly inappropriate pile. And
I'm staring at her, sweat's dripping down my face, and for a second you see an instant of attraction, and then I start blushing and roll off of her.
I said, Okemi.
Yuna.
Oh, Dracula! And then I just jump up and begin the fight again.
that is forbidden love!
While the ladies are in the slightly inappropriate pile, I'd like to try to draw the Bakuzan, jumping up over the collapsed Dracula and then jamming the katana into the presumably boss's weak point.
Okay.
Can I ask my question real
Yes.
quick?
Oh, please.
So I just want to know what is that star thing? Is that the wand?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's the wand. Okay.
So I'd yell that to them, and that's the wand.
Okay.
What's the? I'm sorry, I missed that.
He has like a glowing star on his chest, and that's the wand.
All right, well that's what I'm aiming for. I was trying to aim for but I guess I don't know if it's inside the glass case. I don't know. I'm going
I'll
with what I
say
think
you'll
is the
aim for that. With that knowledge, we'll make it 3 dice.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, or ladies, should I say? I got a 4, a 4, and a 2. If they're all tactical, it's all success.
It would be a tactical roll. So, as soon as Okemi shouts that off, you finally kind of get your eagle. You get the lock on the wand as you leap up, you full blown fucking Sephiroth it, and drive your katana deep into the chest cavity. Kind of this blood red oil spilling out as you hear the voice kind of echo out from its speaker saying, "I was supposed to drain your blood. Does not be." And he starts shorting out. The head spins around, flies off, and you hear the tink as a small, probably like 1.5-foot wand, green wand, spins out and clatters to the ground, and you can kind of see the lights go out of Mecha Dracula's eyes, and all of a sudden, as you guys are in your pile, Robo Frankenstein kind of goes.
Whew! Oh my god, we did it! Satsuki, that was amazing!
As I sheath my katana, I look at the ladies and say, "Those who lack resolve are incapable of even wiping away their own tears."
And with that, do you want to take the wand? It's the Guff wand, and you're Scruff, Tough, and Guff.
I would be honored, and I'll be happy to hold on to this, and I think it would be wise that we each hold on to one wand, because not only does it symbolize our friendship, but the wands will be safest if we don't all give them to one person.
I agree.
Okay. You see the wand. You pick it up. Who's taking it? Is it Satsuki? Okay.
Satsuki.
Satsuki takes the wand, and you hold it, and kind of like pulses with its power as soon as you grab it. And you notice that there's this kind of this sparkling, glittery gem of every color on either side of this wand, but it's this kind of pastel green that has, pardon me, that has these little wings on either side, and they're kind of in the shape of bat wings, it seems, but it's still kind of this cutesy pastel green bat wing. And so you hold on to it, and you have the Guff wand.
Yes.
Well,
Da-na-na-na.
well, now we need to get out of here, and we need to head to Cambodia.
Okay,
Which is-
and I think that we should take the opportunity while we're waiting for our airlift to speak to our alternative history teacher and see if he can maybe give us some information on the next target.
Well, we already have the coordinates.
I would like to know if he has any idea what we're facing before we head in. We don't want to go in blind.
So, as you wait for the helicopter to come pick you up, you leave the temple, and rather the lair. You go back the way you came. As you're leaving, you hear kind of the loud rumbling and crumbling of Mecha Dracula's castle collapsing in on itself. As you wait for it, you get Mr. Tonkotsu on the horn.
As the castle collapses, I turn and look at the ladies and say, "A castle that vanishes at the first gust of wind is worthless."
Puyo looks at you and says, "I hope he had a good insurance plan." You hear over the radio, Mr. Tonkotsu says, "Well, I knew you old ladies could do it. I mean, I didn't realize it would be a Mecha Dracula. I thought it would be a regular Dracula. But then again, this is tactical waifu, so I don't know what I was expecting."
Listen, we need to know if you have any information on our target in Cambodia.
Well, I do have an idea. I believe there's a temple in Cambodia long lost to the ages. And have you girls ever watched the History Channel?
Oh, all the time.
That's where I get 100% of my material for my classes. I watch
ancient aliens.
I love ancient aliens.
And so you know how all of the civilizations on the world got all of their technology from aliens?
Yes.
I believe there's one alien still waiting for a challenger who can defeat it in this temple in Cambodia. And I believe that that alien has the math wand.
Okay. Well, I know what to
Do we
do.
believe that... Sorry, go ahead.
I know what to do, alternate history teacher. The only thing that can defeat that alien is the alien planted in Egypt, the Sphinx. So we have to go to Egypt and we have to get the Sphinx. We have to awaken it and take it to Cambodia so it can fight the other alien. Kind of like Godzilla, but more history-like.
We know how to awaken the Sphinx.
Well, no, I would have to watch that entire series, the Alien Sphinx, on the History Channel. Or it might be actually on Amazon Prime.
No, that was on season 3. I don't know if that... I know they learned how to build the Sphinx. I don't know if that was an alien or not.
Oh, maybe it was a Netflix original series.
Well, lucky for us, I'm sure Mr. Tonkatsu has watched every episode of every show that's ever been on the History Channel and can probably tell us how to awaken the Sphinx.
I'm sure I have some notes. Let me just check. Can you please make a waifu check with 2?
Oh. I passed and failed.
That's a fail. Well, I have an idea. I don't know how good it's gonna work. I can just tell you the plan.
Yeah, just tell us what to do and we'll do it.
Well, here's the plan. He tells you how to... He thinks that you should all awaken the Sphinx. It's basically a chanting ritual, and it uses the power of the cosmos and friendship in order to do it. He's not exactly sure how it'll work. But,
We are very good friends. Yes, even.
Yeah, we are the best friends. The beautiful one, the smart one, and the hungry one. Together, we will awaken the Sphinx.
Suppose then we're going to have to reroute our coordinates to Egypt before we head to Cambodia.
So I open up my flip phone, and the little map comes up again. I put in the coordinates for the Sphinx.
okay, you just Google Maps it. You see, like, the Yelp reviews of the Sphinx of saying, like, wow, it's not as big as I thought. Like, what the fuck happened to its nose? This is bullshit. It was too hot. My feet hurt. And your helicopter picks you up, and you once again get a montage of the little line heading from Transylvania down to Egypt. You land right outside of Cairo, and once again, this is night. And because this is fantasy, there is no like tourists or like guards of Egypt, and you're able to land, and you see the large statue of the Sphinx just sitting there with the pyramids in the background. And you kind of it's cool in the desert at night. It's kind of you get buffeted by the wind and the sand as you're landing, as the helicopter's kind of picking up the sand and kind of buffeting you, and then it and flies off.
Okay. Oh, great Sphinx. The 3 of us have come and we're going to perform the ritual to awaken you so that you can fight your challenger, that other alien guy, in Cambodia. I believe you'll sprout wings or something. We can fly on your back to Cambodia, but I'm not really quite sure how it works. Okay, let's join hands and do this.
And then I'll join hands with my comrades and follow through with the ritual verbatim that alternate history teacher gave us to awaken the Sphinx.
You need to invoke the pattern of the stars that you think would be appropriate, and then proclaim why the 3 of you friends are such good friends that you deserve the Sphinx's help.
Well, my knowledge in astronomy, I think it's going to be that lion constellation, Leo.
And so I'm gonna try to...
Why are you guys great friends? You gotta...
I hold hands with Juna and Okemi, whose names that I would never forget because we're such good friends. And I say, I understand now. The world is not cut from the same cloth. It is because it is overflowing with inexplicable, unidentifiable things that the world is so beautiful. And you two mean the world to me and represent those things. And that's why we are best friends. Our intentions are so pure.
Okay, I'll go next. We are best friends because, as
Oh,
I
good
said
luck.
at the very beginning, your friends are what makes you you, or something I think I said. And by having a pretty friend like Yuna, it makes me pretty. And by having a smart friend like Satsuki, it makes me smart. And by having a hungry friend like me, it makes you guys hungry for life. And that is a triple combination for best friendship.
My friends give me something to strive for. I can be anything that they can be. And I'm not going to stop working until I'm just as perfect as they are, and then Senpai will notice me.
Okay, I need both of you to roll waifu, both Yuna and Satsuki to roll waifu. Two for Yuna, one for Satsuki.
I get below.
Yeah. No, above.
I got a-
Oh, above, right? Yeah.
Oh, for...
Yeah, above for
For
waifu.
waifu, you gotta get a 6.
Oh, I tied it. I got a 5.
You can ask me a question, but you fail.
I'll think of my question in 30
Okay,
seconds.
Yuna, what do you got?
I got a pass and a fail.
Pass and a fail, so that's enough. And so you roll with 4 dice.
Oh god.
Waifu.
3 passes, 1 fail.
3 passes, 1 fail. So that is a critical success. And
My question is...
yes. Hold on to your question. Hold on to your question. All of a sudden, as you're all standing around, this the sand starts to swirl and pick up as the power of friendship kind of glows with like pink and hearts and glitter and swirls around you and then swirls around the Sphinx, and all of a sudden you start to see the stone. You hear kind of rumbling and it starts to kind of crumble away, and you start to see as the stone is crumbling that it's fur. It starts to kind of be exposed, fur and flesh, and the Sphinx statue stands up and the last of it kind of crumbles away, and before you is a full-bodied creature of the Sphinx, but a living, breathing flesh creature, and it looks at all of you and says, "You are all true friends, but please answer my riddle so that I may aid you in your quest."
Shit, I forgot about this. That was on like the second to last episode on that same Ancient Alien series.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You only got a 1 die, sorry. And the Sphinx looks and says, "You have awoken me, but now tell me, if you speak my name, you destroy me. What am I?"
Oh, I know!
I think I know.
Silence.
As soon as you say the word, the Sphinx nods and says, "That is correct."
I'm glad you went first, because I was wrong.
I am also glad she went first. Come, children, where are we headed?
To
I
Kim.
am definitely not the #1 student.
I have a question, and this can be my question that I ask you. I guess it's kind of a rules clarification thing. Can these questions be metagame questions?
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. That's
Like,
fine.
where
That's
would
my
we know to
question.
find the information? Like, how would we know to get around and all of these things?
To
So,
progress the story, basically.
yes, exactly.
Okay.
The whole
all
point
right.
is that every single roll, even if you tie or fail, drives the story forward, and just nothing stonewalls you. So that's the point, to kind of just drive it forward.
So then, can my question be: do we have any guesses as to what this alien is expecting, so we can tell the Sphinx what to expect when we get there?
You would be expecting that the alien is expecting a human challenger worthy enough to beat it.
Okay, so we tell the Sphinx that, and the Sphinx, and I say, oh, great Sphinx, not to assume your knowledge or lack thereof, because you are a wise creature. But we've been told that the alien waiting for us is expecting a human challenger. So I hope that you'll just be able to crush it with one underneath one of your giant paws.
Well, what I was thinking is, and oh great Sphinx, if you don't mind being so humble, one of us could say, "I have tamed this beast. So therefore, I and my beast challenge you." Yeah? Maybe?
That is a good plan. Hop on my back and we will fly to Cambodia to progress the story.
So I'm gonna leap onto his
We
back.
only have 4 hours, so we need to pick this up.
I want to spend the entire time putting bows in little parts of the Sphinx's mane.
Okay. You do that. As you're flying, and this Sphinx does not need to stop. As you're flying on the bed, the wind is whipping in your face, and you hear the occasional kind of lion growl and roar as it's flying across the sea. And now you have another map montage. The helicopter's been replaced by a little bird's eye view of a Sphinx, and it dots from ancient Egypt to the jungles of Cambodia. You show it the coordinates. Despite being an ancient creature, it knows what coordinates are. Wow. Impressive. Impressive. And as it flies in, you find you're flying over this jungle. It's about midday. It's oppressively hot and moist. As you're flying in the canopy, these trees in this jungle are absolutely massive, and you start to see the very tops of what seems to be some kind of temple in these jungles, exactly where your coordinates are leading. Where do you guys want to take it in?
I think we should strike right at the heart of potentially where the alien is and just not even waste any time. Our opponents will never expect a head-on attack.
Okay.
Do we get any supplies first?
A Sphinx.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So you tell the Sphinx what to do, and it dives into the cloud cover. As you see this temple, that it's this wide, winding, huge temple, kind of going through the jungle down into ravines. But you see at the center is a large square courtyard area that seems to have a flat stone surface, and with like a pillar on either corner. It almost seems like kind of a fighting arena. At the center of this, you see a single humanoid figure. It seems to be standing very tall, about almost 7 feet tall. It is the strange the strange green and purple alien-looking creature. Very smooth, no hair, kind of circular protrusions from the side of its head, 2 antennae sticking up from its head. And you swoop down, and you hear a voice call out as it turns.
I know what this is.
As, finally, a human challenger, ready to defeat me. I've been waiting for so long.
I didn't know what it was. I thought you were going to do the Stitch voice.
Never, ironically or unironically. Ironic shitposting is still shitposting. I missed opportunity though.
I guess we jump off the Sphinx's back and I say, tell us the nature of your challenge before our Sphinx crushes you to death.
So
I'm gonna say, yeah, and then I'm gonna blow some glitter out of my hands and like disperse it around me.
Okay, you land. The dust kind of kicks up, and as the wind is kind of blowing all of your hair around. Okemi, you kind of land, and your cleavage is jiggling violently as glitter swirls all around you. The Sphinx lands and kind of looks down and is growling at this large alien. You're able to see that this creature is shirtless and has some strange kind of pants, and with a belt all the way around with a buckle that has a what seems to be a kind of this pastel orange color that seems to be in the same style as the one wand that you have. And it looks at you and says, "Those humans that can defeat me may take the prize, but I will not go down without fighting to the death."
We are being represented by this ancient mythical Sphinx, and I assume that you won't say no because the Sphinx will kill you regardless.
I will step forward and I will say,
It is I who have tamed this beast, both me and my friends. And with this beast's help, we shall defeat you, Godzilla style, Sphinx to alien, and 3 people with Sphinx.
not at all convincing, but really cute.
Make a waifu roll with 2 dice. I'll say you're not an expert in commanding a Sphinx.
Oh, both have to be. Both of them are higher.
Both of them succeed. So immediately the Sphinx was in a kind of a pouncing stance, and the Sphinx leaps forward and smashes the alien down. You hear a loud crunch of its bones as he's like, and then its paw is over this creature, and then you hear a voice come out. That wasn't even my final form! And the paw is blast backwards, and this energy is radiating around the alien. And let me pull up what happens. I said I was.
Skip stage 1 of the boss fight, went right to stage 2.
I swear I swore I wasn't gonna prep, and then I just get away. And he's swirling with energy now, and you see his muscles just bulging out. He grows about a foot taller, and his muscles are rippling. There's just veins like pulsating, and he says, "You'll have to do harder than that to defeat me, puny humans and your beast." What's he gonna do?
How tall is he?
Sorry, go ahead.
How tall is he?
Probably about 8 feet tall now.
Okay.
I draw Bakuzan and I charge him.
Yeah, and I want to run up, make it look like I'm going to punch, but I want to, like, run up his body and then give him a titty twister.
Okay, roll.
Because he doesn't have a shirt on, you said, right?
It's off.
Yeah,
It's off.
perfect.
So you roll waifu,
Okay.
2 dice, and Bakuzan, you roll tactical for 2.
Succeed and a fail.
Okay.
1 and a 6. So
That's
fail
exactly
and a
what
pass.
I got.
Fail and a pass. So you leap up Okemi. You manage to only grab one of his nipples and turn. He goes, ah! And just giving Satsuki enough time to slash at the chest, and this kind of purplish greenish goo just pours all out over you, and he says, ah! And then knocks both of you back. You both kind of take a large hit to your ample chests and kind of get knocked off.
Oh,
and,
the right one.
And he's going to say, "That's not enough to defeat me." And he's going to come forward with a punch. What are you guys doing? He's just going.
Get him, Yona!
And I'm just going to
So-
stand my ground.
I'm gonna hold up I'm gonna hold up the sword in a defensive stance to
Okay.
try to like brace
Yeah,
myself.
and I'm
against the
going
punch.
to hold my fists up like, I will punch your fist away.
Okay.
I'm gonna yell, "My friends!" And like while he's talking, like rapid fire my poison defuko at his face, trying to get him in his mouth.
I would say roll with 2 dice for either your preference, tactical or waifu. I don't know.
I think it's totally waifu.
Waifu. We'll do waifu.
Totes waifu.
I keep forgetting which way. I think well, either way, it's pass and a fail.
It's a 3. Okay. So you manage to chuck 3 Daifuku, and he manages to punch you right in your ribs. You hear a loud crack as you're knocked across, but then as his mouth is from screaming, and then and you kind of start to see the poisonous Daifuku kind of go in his mouth, and he kind of collapses to the ground like wheezing, and then he says, "That wasn't even my final form." And then he grows another foot, and then spikes start to grow out of his arm, and all of a sudden he's standing there just covered in spikes, ready to go, and he shoots his arms out and just and spikes shoot directly towards you. What are you guys doing?
I'm gonna use the Bakuzan to try to slice the spikes in half as they come towards me and Robin Hood the shit out of them to split them as they like fly flat past me.
2 dice.
And I'm going to turn around, and with my panda tail, I'm going to start spinning it Mario style around in circles, trying to, like, knock them all back towards him.
Okay, why don't you do a waifu roll with 2?
Both pass.
Okay. What was that?
4 and a 2. 2 passes.
So 4 both pass, right?
Yes.
Okay, so as all of the spikes shoot at you, are you going to do anything, Yuna?
No.
Okay, so you stand back. You just took a huge punch to the ribs. You are slicing, Robin Hooding, and anyone that you manage to actually, you're so quick, your blade moves on the wind and is redirecting spikes after taking a page from Okemi, who just sticks her also ample rear.
Ample rear.
As the panda tail is spinning more and more, most of the spikes shoot back at him. He spits up blood onto the ground. He kind of falls onto his knees, and he just kind of looks down at the ground. He says, "That wasn't even my final form." He stands up. He grows another foot taller, and a large slithering tail kind of emerges from him as he then lunges towards you, at you, spikes all over him, huge muscles, large tail. He's kind of slithering it towards you guys. What are you guys doing?
I want to immediately take a defensive maneuver and move backwards out of the way as quickly as I can, defensively, trying to gain some distance and reassess the situation.
Okay.
How big is he now?
He is 7, 8. Is he 9 feet? Wait, 8, 9. He's 10 feet tall now.
So as I see Satsuki hunker down, I'm going to turn around, spinning glitter all around me, and I'm going to go, "Sphinx, now! Pounce him!" And I'm going to punch up into the air and hope that the Sphinx listens to me.
Okay.
And I'm telling the Sphinx to run up behind and pounce him into the ground. The Sphinx should still be bigger than him.
Okay, I'll do a waifu roll for 2.
1 fails, 1 success.
It manages. You punch up into the air. You see the shadow of the Sphinx, and Satsuki manages to dodge out of the way, and the Sphinx is able to kind of bat him down, protecting you guys. But then the tail whips around the Sphinx's neck and starts to strangle it, and you kind of start to see that he then shoves his shoulder into the Sphinx's side, and there's spikes going in, and the Sphinx is bleeding. It's very wounded.
As soon as we see that, I want to charge forward and see if I can strike at the tail to sever the tail from the creature's body.
Okay. Roll tactical with 2 dice.
A fail and a pass, but the fail is a 5, so I get to ask a question.
Okay. So you manage to take your sword, slice at the tail. You manage to cut it halfway off, it's hanging on by some flesh. He lets out a roar. It releases the Sphinx. The Sphinx is able to dodge out of the way, but the tail still remains firmly on. What's your question?
My question is, based on how truly surprised I am at there being 4 final forms, can I deduce how many more final forms there may be?
You could probably guess that there's a number.
Okay.
Seeing as he whips around, I'm going to run over, and I'm going to just run up and try and run up him again and just uppercut him.
Okay.
With my fist.
Could you do tactical with 2? Because you are proficient in punches.
I was supposed to get under for tactical, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So as you try to uppercut him, you unfortunately miss, and the tail shoots down. You realize there's an actual barb at the end. It kind of sticks into your stomach, and you're wounded as he's just standing there laughing. Is this all you can muster, humans?
Want to yell to Yuna to get to Okemi, and I'll try to distract the creature by continuing to attack it.
Okay, roll
Make
tactical.
sure, make sure Okemi is okay, and I'll keep fighting. And then I go to strike the creature again with the Bakuzan.
Okay.
And I'll run to Okemi and try to patch up her stomach.
Okay. Roll waifu status with 2. Satsuki, roll tactical with 2.
Passes. 2 2s.
I got 2 5s. Since that passes.
Yep. So you manage to go up, you pull out a med kit that was provided to you by Mr. Tonkotsu, and you manage to wrap up the bleeding, just almost miraculously stops, as if it was like a video game med pack.
And as that's happening, Sasuke, you run up with your sword, and you slice deep into his chest. The tail kind of is split almost in two, and he collapses to the ground, bleeding profusely. And he says, "That wasn't even my final form!" Ah! And he roars, energy swirls, and then from his back, two huge wings erupt, and he takes off into the air is swooping down at you guys now. Spikes, tail, wings, muscles.
So as he goes to swoop down, I'm going to, having her just patch at my stomach, "Oh my god, it feels better!" And then I'm going to do a slide, but on my stomach with my tail straight up in the air, as stiff as it can be, hoping that it's going to like smack him straight in his balls as he tries to fly down at my friends. Essentially, like he's flying in, my tail straight up, and he's just
make a waifu with
hurting
2.
himself. Both pass.
Both pass. Okay, so as he's swooping in, both your friends are kind of dive out of the way and let you manage to stick your butt up, and it's just enough leverage to kind of knock into his chin, and he kind of flies off you can tell that he was not expecting a butt attack, and he flies off, spins, and smashes into the ground. You hear a loud sickening crack as he smashes into the ground. He kind of tumbles and rolls, one of his wings cracks, and he's "That wasn't even my final form!" Ah! Arms swirling, and another pair of arms rips out of him. He has 4 arms, wings, a tail, spikes, huge muscles, and he is going to just come at you with 4 massive meaty arms. He's huge at this point now.
I'm going to reach into my pack from club at school and pull out one of my tactical explosive devices and throw it just above him, and it would explode into a net and fall on him to hopefully tangle up his wings and double sets of arms and a tail and spikes.
I would say roll 1, because at this point, you hear the Sphinx kind of beat its wings as it's kind of aiding you as you chuck it, and it says, "I am with you, champions!" And so now on all of your rolls with the Sphinx here have plus 1d6. So add that to your roll. So whatever I tell you, just add 1d6 to that.
Awesome.
Okay? So could you roll with 2? Tactical.
I got a 2 and a 1.
Both successes?
Wow. Yeah, both successes.
And as he's running up with the 4 wings, you throw this net, and it's not quite as large as you were expecting. It falls on him, and then all he says, "My only weakness, a tiny net!" Ah! And it falls on his wings, wrapped up his wings, his sharp tail, his spikes. He's impaling himself, twisting around, choking himself. And he collapses to the ground, covered in the net. Finally, he's like, "That wasn't even my final form!" And the net rips off, and he grows another feet. His body seems to stay the same, but all of a sudden, from his head, spiky black hair has shot up, and he now has a full head of hair, looking very angry, and he's coming at you guys.
He's going Super Saiyan. I'm going to, how big is he now?
A lot. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 feet.
Okay, I want to run up and I want to try and climb.
He's a giant at this point.
Yeah, I want to
He's
try
just
and climb and embed myself in his hair, and I just want to start punching him in his eyeballs, trying to prevent him from seeing properly so that my compadres
Okay, I would say 2d, so you'd be 3.
Okay.
3d6.
And a tactical?
Tactical.
So I need to get below, right?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I would have. If it were waifu, that would have been.
So
All failed.
You fail, and as you kind of climb up through his hair, and you're trying to punch his eyeball, he just takes his finger and just flicks you, and the kind of energy. You kind of hear a loud star, and then she falls back down. You hear her slam into the ground. Thank God, all that cushioning in Okemi has kept her from dying, but she is wounded, but not greatly so. Okay, what are you guys doing? He's running at you guys.
I'm running out of ideas, so I reached into my tactical bulletproof vest, and I used my last flashbang grenade, and hope to catch him off guard and see if I can blind him momentarily.
Okay. Roll 2 plus the Sphinx, so 3d6.
Got 1 6, which is a fail, and 2 1s, which is a pass.
2 1, which is a pass. So as he's running at you, his hair just kind of billowing in the wind. He sprints forward and and you throw the grenade. He goes, ah! And as he's completely blinded, he kind of stops right directly in front of you too, as if he was going to. He's open.
Oh, then I'm definitely ready to go, and I'm gonna do like a 360 whirl slash and try to get him right across the stomach.
Okay, so with that, roll 4d6 because he's blinded. You have the Sphinx, and there's 2. Yeah.
I rolled 2 6s, a 5, and a 2. So that's 2 failures, 1 question, and 1 success.
So that's a half success. You manage to kind of stab your sword up into his enormous chest, and he kind of collapses. But then you're able to ask a question, but then he swats you as soon as Okemi is trying to stand up, and you both roll into each other and kind of clatter off to the side, knock up against the Sphinx.
My question is his hair the source of his power?
You get the sense that it's the source of his most recent power. Absolutely, that the hair is very significant to his.
All right. Okay. Then I'm tumbling on the ground with Okemi trying to catch my breath.
Okay.
Once again, I roll onto him, breasts heaving, and I look down.
Satsuki.
There's no time for this. Are you okay? We have to fight.
Yeah.
And then my cheeks get bright red, and hearts are in my eyes, and I just roll off of her.
Yuri is never canon. and he lunges. He lunges forward. What are you doing?
Would any of his spikes have broken off onto the ground?
There's a number of broken spikes on the ground. He just regrowing them, but they're
I
still
would
there.
start collecting those and launching them with the rage of my fallen friends behind it.
Okay, I would say with tactical with 2, so 3 with the Sphinx.
I have a 3 and 2 4s, so a match, and then I don't know if that's pass or fail.
So that's a full failure,
Yeah.
right? So it's a full failure. So you are chucking all of these things out, and it is kind of breaking, and the alien kind of smashes you down with its forearms, knocks the rest of you. You are all in a clump. He is coming at you now. The Sphinx is kind of right behind you, but he is coming at you, powered up, emboldened by your guys' failures to take him down.
I am going to, with my long kawaii nails, they're pink, Hello Kitty, acrylics all over them, gems. They've got some strings hanging from them. They're amazing. I want to, after rolling off of Satsuki, I want to climb up him and sink my fingers into his chest and try and rip out his heart.
Okay. I would say take whatever roll you want. I would say 2 plus 1, so the 3.
I'm going with
Did I need to ask a question?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to do that first?
Can I'm going to metagame this because I don't. Does he have any, visible weak spots on him?
I would probably say you notice the kind of the general weak spot in the Mecha Dracula was the wand, and so it's by his crotch.
I see.
So when I
Thank you.
tail punched him to his dick, that didn't do anything extra because I tail punched him to his dick.
Tail punched him into his dick. I mean, I would just say that that knocked him out. It knocked him out.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So they all pass.
They all pass.
They all
So, as you take your kawaii nails and you say, "Oh, it's so pretty," they sparkle with little stickers on them, and then you hear "Ah!" as you see Okemi rip out this massive alien heart, and he's like, "Ah!" His eyes roll back. He collapses down on the ground. And then you hear the voice say, "That wasn't even my final form!" Ah! And he grows another foot taller. Nothing else changed except his hair, instead of black, is now gold. And he's larger. And he is...
there is a large kind of patch of disgusting scar tissue over where his heart was. And he is just lunging directly at you guys again. You're now holding an alien heart, and then and
it's like pink and like perfectly heart shaped.
Yeah. You hear Puyo Puyo say, "Women, they'll rip your heart out," and then.
So, okay. As I mentioned before, the Bakuzan is a very, very special weapon. It's magic. Clearly, I mean, it's a magic katana, right? After Satsuki Kiryuin was reunited with her long-lost sister, the Bakuzan actually gained the ability to turn into a pair of scissors. It's a special scissor blade move. So Satsuki Kiryuin would like to channel the Bakuzan's scissor blade power and go for his golden hair.
You know what? I'll allow it. Why not? Please roll tactical with 3 plus 1, so 4.
One, 1, 2, and 6. So 3 passes and 1 failure.
3, that's still a critical success. So, as he's lunging forward, you manage to leap up, and without even laying a single bit of harm on his body, your sword turns into a pair of scissor blades, and all of the golden locks fall to the ground. He just, and he kind of crumples to the ground. You kind of see his body shriveling up.
As he's doing that, I want to go over and I want to try and wrench the thing out of his belt.
Wrench the thing out of his. As you run over, he says, "That wasn't even my final form!" The hair regrows, and it is now glowing a bright blue. And he's another foot taller. And you kind of see that there's a chaoticness to him, and he's definitely kind of there's a wildness in his eyes. So you want to try to?
Yeah, I want to. Same with my disgusting now bloody claws. I want to try to reach in and just rip it out of him.
Okay. Why don't you make a with I would say 2, so 3.
2 passes.
2 passes. And so, I would say that that's a success. You reach in and you don't manage to grab the belt out, but you miss, and it's very fortuitous. You sink both of your claws into his abdomen. He spits up this horrific blood all over you, and he kind of slumps forward, his blue hair dripping, and then he kind of says, "That wasn't even my final form!" And he glows energy, and all of a sudden his body starts to shrink. And you see in front of you the exact same alien that you faced against, but he's a little bit shiny now. And he just lunges forward, and He's there's kind of as soon as he's standing there, there's kind of this tranquilness that comes over him. There's a little bit of sheen that kind of just glistens in the jungle sun, and he just sprints forward at you guys.
I'm going to rear my hand back and slap the living shit out of him and say, "You got me dirty!"
Okay, and what do you guys do while this happens?
Taking a defensive stance, because at this point, the secret hidden blade technique, you can only use it once, unfortunately, so it's cooked now. So I have to assume a defensive position again and brace for impact.
Okay.
I'm gonna brace behind Akemi and follow up her slap with a kick to the groin.
Okay, could you make the kick to the groin? Could you please make a dice with tactical with 2, so 3 with the Sphinx.
I have a 4, 5, 6. So that's all fail, right? Or all pass?
I'll fail.
Tactical?
Yep.
Yeah, under. So you reach up, and so you roll. It's a slap. I would say roll 2 plus a 3 with the Sphinx. Waifu.
2 successes.
2 successes. So you manage to slap him as he runs. Sprints at you. You slap him across the face. He flies back and kind of hits the wall, and he kind of heaves himself up and he looks at you, and then he just kind of flies back at you. He's definitely a little bit wounded, but he's flying at you guys again.
And I am going to see how Satsuki's holding her blade, and I'm going to run straight at the point. And then very last second, with him chasing me, I'm going to veer out of the way and see if I can get him to impale himself on her blade.
Okay. I will say, however you guys want to do that, who's assisting whom, you guys decide.
No, I think all I have to do is stand there and be ready for what she's doing. So I would be assisting.
So
Okemi.
can you do tactical, kind of holding steady, getting the sense of you're using your tactical mind to kind of pick up what Okemi's laying down. You're holding ready. So roll 2 plus the Sphinx. 3.
3 fails.
3 fails. Okay. So I want to say you with you kind of using your tricks. I want you to roll 3 plus the Sphinx, so 4 dice total.
Okay. Waifu or tactical?
Waifu.
So that's 2 successes already. 3 successes.
3 successes. So, Sasuke, you're kind of like you're wounded. You're like a little bit nervous, and you feel like you're barely kind of ready for this plan. But Okemi, you taunt him. He's kind of so mad. He sprints forward, a fraction of the size he was before, and just before he's about to smash into you, you just kind of bouncy roll out of the way, and he goes, "Blah!" And you feel the weight of this alien kind of as you're able to kind of point your sword down, Satsuki, and it gets right into his kind of groin, goes straight down, and he spits up and he looks around at you and says, "That was my final form." And he falls to the ground dead, and as in his death throe, the sword kind of slices, and a wand kind of rips out from his body, kind of almost immune from the gore and the blood, as you have the Mac wand.
I'm gonna panda roll over to it, grab it, and then do like that cute little pose that the Cheshire Cat does on the branch, and be like,
I think I'll take this.
Okay. So you grab the wand. You now have an orange wand, and this one has kind of wings, but these seem to be kind of like these weird, like futury, kind of futury alien type wings, similar to the shape that he had. And Puyo Puyo kind of flies up to you guys and says, "Right in the Dragon Balls."
Is this
I
supposed
turn
to
and I
be-
thank the Sphinx for its help, and I turn to the ladies and say, "Well, we have a long journey ahead to America, so we should take the time to heal up, to rest. We should talk to our alternative history professor and see if he can give us any information on where we're going in Massachusetts and what waits us there."
I agree. We should call for the plane and communicate with him while we're en route to America.
Agreed.
The Sphinx nods.
Thank you, Sphinx.
He says, "You're welcome. Thank you for giving me a thrill. I return to Egypt." And with that, it flaps its wings and flies off right as your helicopter is landing and picking you guys up.
Is this platypus supposed to be Perry the Platypus from that?
Oh, I needed a wacky animal
Oh.
wisecracking sidekick. Sure, I didn't think about that. So as the helicopter picks you up, you all kind of load in, and as you are taking off and flying over the jungles of Southeast Asia, "Fortunate Son" by Creedence Clearwater Revival is playing, and as you fly over the jungles. And Mr. Not Forgus, what the fuck is his name?
Mr.
Tonkotsu. Bone broth soup.
Yep.
Radio says, "Well done, I knew you could handle that stupid fucking alien. Well, this last one, it'll be tricky, like we all know. I don't know, I ain't never been to America. I hear they had a great year in 1776, but that's all I know. And then I know that this last wand is near Salem, Massachusetts." I hear it's an ancient witch who's been alive for hundreds of years, and is no customer to fuck around with.
Do you know where this witch resides?
Yeah, it's at the coordinates.
What?
The coordinates I gave you is exactly where her hut
You didn't let me
is.
finish, Mr. Bone Broth Soup. You didn't let me finish. My question is this witch deep in the forest? Is this an open area? What kind of terrain are we looking to fight in here?
She's deep in the
tactical
woods.
waifus, after all.
She's deep in the woods. And it's spooky. There's creepy wicker shit all over the trees. That's what I read, at least.
The thick forest.
The thick forest, the thick woods, real thick trees.
I hear it's also moist in there. Thick and
I'm gonna have
moist.
to rethink my plan. So you guys fill up a good 5 minutes airtime while I Google some shit.
Okay.
So I think that, Mr. Alternative History Teacher, sir, that, we're going to need some holy water. Because witches don't drink holy water, right? I think that's a good thing. Holy water. And I'm really hungry, so could you send over 4 or 5 bento boxes, please?
I can do that.
Wakashi's favorite.
I'll have Marissa Chan help me whip up a few ones. I'll have Budo take the charge on that. We'll get you some good nutritious bento boxes, sure.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Let me think. Could you also send a ball-jointed doll?
Sure.
Great. I just feel lonely.
Okay. So, once again, a montage. As Fortunate Son plays, you get another map montage that flies all the way from the jungles of Cambodia, all the way across the Atlantic to Massachusetts, right outside of Salem, large forest. Lets you all kind of right on the edge, not too far from where the hut of this witch is.
Okay.
And all of your airdrop supplies come in.
Whew.
Prop plane flies over, drops down on the parachute.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a fan of witches, but I'll do anything to get Senpai back.
So what kind of tactical supplies did we call in from our professor? I heard something about holy water.
Yeah, I got some holy water. But I got thirsty, so I drank half of it. But that's fine, because we still have half a container of holy water. And then I asked for 6 bento boxes. That's 2 apiece. But I got nervous, and I ate all 6 of them. So we don't have any more bento boxes. And then I got a ball-jointed doll in case we need... I left it on the plane. So we don't have that either.
We can always go back. There's still time.
Yes,
Okay.
that's what we got.
What are you guys gonna do? You gonna go in? Okay.
Yeah,
So-
I'm gonna go in.
You head into the woods, and it's kind of the forest gets denser and denser and denser as you're kind of going through the hilled, wooded landscape of Massachusetts. And this is the first time any of you have been in America, so there's also that kind of jitterbugness to it. I mean, every anime girl's biggest fear and greatest dream is to go to America. So, I mean, ideally it would have been under different circumstances. As you kind of creep closer and closer, you start to see the trees look a little bit gnarled. You almost see the wisps of faces on them. And then you start to see kind of hanging in the trees these strange bound wicker and twig and bone hanging, and all sorts of strange contraptions, strange runes painted on stone and bark as you make your way. And then eventually you see, in a very tight clearing, a small hut. Door shut.
I hear that witches live in huts. We're probably on the right track. We should move forward and keep the holy water at a ready.
Maybe we should just surprise her and, throw some of our explosives at it.
Wait, it is a wooden hut. I do have a Molotov cocktail in my backpack.
Let's light it on fire.
I can throw the Molotov cocktail at the hut, and it should be engulfed in flame in an instant.
Yes, do it.
Okay?
Surprise
So I
attack.
take out the
Too
Molotov
tactical.
cocktail. I take out my Zippo, and I light the Molotov, and I throw it right through the open window of the hut.
Okay, there are no windows as a door, but you're going to throw it on the roof?
I'll throw it right at the door. The Molotov's gonna hit the door, explode, and the whole hut is gonna be
Okay,
engulfed.
2 tactical, please.
If it works.
Yeah.
2 4s, which is 2 passes.
2 passes. So, you chuck the Molotov cocktail. It spins in the air, the end lit. You hear a loud crash of glass as the thatch roof hut just erupts into flame and is burning. It almost like goes immediately. There's something incredibly potent inside, and then you hear a voice from behind you, and it says, "Don't you know it's not nice to destroy people's things?" You turn around and you see what seems to be a little girl, no older than 10, and she's holding a broom, and she's this little cauldron, kind of like one of those like trick-or-treat baskets, but it's actually a bubbling cauldron in her hand, and she says, "My name's Blair, and I'm gonna kill you horribly. I'm ancient, by the way. I'm 350 years old."
Well,
Despite not looking no older than 10.
Well, Blair, I don't mean to insult you or anything, but 350 years old isn't actually ancient. Our alternate history teacher tells us about aliens that are thousands of years old, so I'm not really impressed. By the way, you're gonna die now, and I'm gonna punch her in the face.
Okay, make a tactical. With 2. Use your fist.
Fail.
They need to be under.
Yeah, I have to get a 1 on both of them.
So, as she's standing in front of you, you just reach down and you punch. All of a sudden, she kind of just blinks next to you, and she says, like, "How do you move with those things?" And then she kind of zaps you, and all of a sudden, you feel like your whole body is starting to expand as you kind of like fall over, as it's like mostly in your cleavage area. That's just disgusting. And then, what are you guys doing?
I'm gonna try to kick the cauldron out of her hand.
Okay, make a tactical with 2.
That's pass and a fail. Pass and a fail.
Okay.
No, yes, pass and a fail. Sorry.
Pass and a fail. So you kick the cauldron, and it manages to kind of spill out some of this bubbling brew, but then it swings back around, and some flies on you, and you kind of get scalded on the side of your arm. You're like, "Hey, I don't have an infinite supply of that, you know." And she raises her broom at you guys to cast a spell. What are you doing, Satsuki?
You said the broom?
Yeah.
Seeing that she pointed the broom at Okami and now she's racing it at us, I'm going to try to move very quickly and use the katana to slice the broom in half.
Okay, make a tactical for 2.
I got 2 5s, so that's 2 questions and 2 fails.
2 fails. So, as you reach to slice in, you kind of stumble a little bit, and she kind of zips over to the side and says, "No, you don't!" And then immediately these pink ribbons kind of expand, appear in midair, and start to bind you around your hands and your feet, and suddenly you're hogtied
Jeez.
on the ground. And it's like, "Nice try, though." You know, what are you doing? Oh no! So Kemi, what do you got?
So my punch didn't land. So I'm going to try to run around behind her. Does she have pigtails?
Yes.
And I want to grab her pigtails and pull them either way and try and rip her hair out.
I would say that's a waifu roll of 2.
1 succeeds.
Okay, so as she looks like she's going to kind of cast another spell at you, it's kind of difficult with kind of how heavy you went.
Oh, I forgot that my boobs were gigantic.
To much larger, and all of a sudden you kind of stumble forward and you kind of miss one, but you're able to yank and you get this huge tuft of hair, and all of a sudden kind of you feel like a loud poof of magic and your body returns to normal as it yanks out.
Well, that's not what I wanted to happen. Damn it!
And her hair's you guys aren't nice at all. And then she kind of starts to puts the cauldron down and kind of pulls out a cup and scoops something out of it and is getting ready to drink it.
Yeah, someone untie me. I'm in this undignified position.
I'm kind of blushing at Satsuki, and I'm going. I guess I don't have anything sharp on me. I I assume my vest would have some sort of like a sharp edge I could kind of like cut the ribbon with.
You've attacked the life.
Yeah.
I do?
We all do. We
Oh,
have bulletproof vests.
I did not even look at any of that stuff.
I'm looking at the thing. It doesn't say I have a knife.
Well,
You have a knife.
come on.
You have a knife.
We're actual combat veterans.
Okay. Well, I've been playing that wrong then.
We have a
So I'm
variety
gonna
of
run over
grenades.
and cut the ribbons that are binding her.
Okay, make a tactical with 2.
I have a pass and a fail.
Okay, so you managed to go over, but it's taking you basically the full, action to cut Satsuki free. Unfortunately, you, in your hurry, you kind of slice a big gash into Satsuki's arm.
Sorry, Satsuki.
But I'm free now.
You're free.
Oh, thank God.
Seeing them do this, really upset that my breasts have reduced in size. I'm going to stand back and I'm going to try and toss one of my grenades into her cauldron.
Oh, okay. I would say tactical 2.
Fail.
Both fail. As the grenade, you're trying to aim, it kind of hits the rim and then just flies off into the woods, explodes in a bang. You kind of get pelted with splinters. As she said, "Nice try!" and she's getting ready to drink at Satsuki. You go one more shot. Satsuki.
Sorry. Seeing what she did, I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I have one last grenade. I have a frag grenade.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try to do the exact same maneuver and also throw it
Okay.
into the
Tactical
pot.
2.
1 pass, 1 fail.
Okay, so you manage to chuck it into the cauldron, and it blasts. It kind of gets on the edge. It doesn't blow up the cauldron, but the cup that was in her hand flies out, and so she's I was gonna drink that, and she then grabs her broom and points it at you guys. She's getting ready to cast another spell. She's just chanting in some dark language.
I mean, if we're taking turns, then I'll wait for my turn. But I would say I went over double with my sword and still try to cut the broom in 2.
Okay, make a tactical 2.
I'm gonna go to the hut on fire and like light some of the daifuku, so it's sort of like a flaming marshmallow effect, and just throw a bunch at her, trying to get him to stick.
I got 2 successes.
Okay, so so after that, so you run out, and as you're kind of running, I forgot to mention, she has a large witch's hat, and in the center is a purple circle that looks like to be in the same style of the wand. As you manage to run up, she looks like she's going to cast a spell on you, and you slice, and the broom splinters into pieces. Like, no, my magic! And you can start to see then kind of her, a few wrinkles start to show up on her face. And she kind of starts to grow a few inches in height. What were you doing, Yuna?
I was running over to the hut that we lit on fire and lighting some of my sugary daifuku on fire, so like a flaming marshmallow, and like attempting to throw it to her to get it to like stick on fire on her.
Okay. Can you make a waifu or tactical? I would say your combo, your choice rather, and then with 2.
Okay, that is a 2 and a 4, so pass and a fail either way.
Pass and fail. So some of it does manage to light on fire. Unfortunately, you kind of get some burns on your arm as it chucks on her, and some gets on her face, and it starts to burn away. And as it's burning, oh my god, my face, my beautiful face! And all of a sudden, kind of the nose starts to grow out a little bit. You kind of start to see the beginning of a wart, and it starts to kind of singe and boil and pop from the flame that's burning her away. She's still holding the cauldron though, and she's reaching in with another cup and kind of looks like it's ready to throw it at you guys.
I'm going to. I've been standing there. I just did whatever I just did, and I've been attempting to drink the holy water, and I catch myself. Oh, yeah, I can't do this. And so I see that she's doing that, and I want to spit it into the cauldron, and I just want to spit my holy water into her potion or whatever she's got going on.
Do
there.
waifu for 2.
Both succeed.
Both succeed. So as she's burning, she's going to, and then she drops it to stop you. When she can kind of sense the holiness. No! And her voice all of a sudden starts. She kind of fills out, gets a little bit taller but hunched. This beautiful young girl is now starting to become this old crone. And you spit a mouthful of holy water, and as soon as the holy water hits that cauldron, it explodes. Fragments of cauldron flying all over the place. And she's like, no! And she's kind of grasping, and then she kind of holds on to her hat, and then grabs both sides. You kind of start to see the gem in the hat, in the brim of the hat, start to kind of glow, and she starts chanting in some ancient horrific language that you don't understand. What are you guys doing?
I want to try to, since it's a thickly wooded area, climb up into one of the trees and see if I can get like a tactical advantage from behind, looking to strike from above. So I want to climb a tree up into the treetops.
I would say just roll tactical for 2.
And while he's doing that, I want to yell at Yuna to shove some of her poisonous food down her throat.
One pass, one fail.
Okay. Do you want to assist Yuna in doing that? So do you want to shove something in her throat?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. So could you roll? We'll say that's a pass, and so that succeeds. So add an extra d6. So roll 3d6.
Is this tactical?
I would say, yeah.
Ooh, that is not good. That is 2 6s and a 5. That is all fail.
Oh, so you fail, and Satsuki dives in, strikes from above, kind of stabs kind of into her back, where she knocks you back, and you try to go with her mouth open, chanting. You try to shove your whatever that food is down her throat, and she manages to, and it looks like you're going to go do that, and all of a sudden you hear a poof of smoke around you, and all of a sudden you start to feel your skin change, and you're still like the same proportions, but you're now all of a sudden covered in this strange fur, and both of you are looking at like a fox girl, like a humanoid fox, standing in front of you.
Oh my god, you are so cute. You're the best friend I've ever had.
I'm gonna look over my shoulder and wiggle my foxtail.
I'm gonna look over my shoulder
Wiggles.
and wiggle my panda tail at her.
So
With my success, was I able to climb the tree?
I would say you jumped. So that was all part of the same thing. So that was all part of the same thing. So you were kind of assisting. So you're back and you're resetting. And then she says, "Okay, who's next?" And then she goes in and starts to charge again.
While she's charging, I want to try to rush her and swing my katana at the hat and the glowing gem and try to sever the gem from the hat.
Okay, roll tactical for 2.
One fail, which is a question, and 1 pass.
Okay, so you manage to slice. The hat gets knocked, kind of gets knocked up as you kind of leave a scar. Kind of rips out one of her eyes, slices across, and now she's basically full crone at this point, full old hag. And she's managed to hold on though, and she blasts you. And Satsuki, what similar happened to Okemi's chest is now happening to you in your in your lower regions, and you are starting to become a lot less agile.
Oh my god, you have such a thick puss. I can handle this.
I meant the ass.
She said nether regions.
Yeah, I meant the lower.
Gotta go.
That's disgusting.
I gotta go.
Okay, Thick Plus, what's up?
I want to pull out my my cell phone, my really shitty cell phone, and do the worst thing that I could possibly do to anybody in an attempt to damage her. And I want to flip it to my MP3 player, and with the terrible flip phone speakers, I want to start playing Backstreet's Back by the Backstreet Boys.
Roll 3, please.
1 meet and 1 succeed.
So,
and 1 fail.
So as you do that, she looks like she's going to cast a spell at you, and suddenly she kind of stops and she's clutching her ear, but it's starting to hurt you, and you drop your phone, and you hear a crack as it hits the ground.
And then for my question, what looks like the quickest way to defeat her?
Go for the head.
Okay.
Go for the head.
So then I'm going to yell out to Satsuki, Satsuki, she's distracted, go for the head! Back, straight, back, alright!
I shout, oh, I love this American music. And then as I realize that I am no longer able to run with the swift speed of the eagle, I pull back with Bakuzan and I throw it. And I try to throw the katana at her throat.
Okay, 3 dice, please, with the assistance of Okami and the Backstreet Boys, of course.
I got 3 successes.
Okay, so with like Backstreet's back, and blood spews everywhere as the katana kind of carries her, impales into the tree, and she cracks her head. Her skin is kind of turned this sickly greenish grayish color as like the full hag, the life force seeps out, and as it does so she kind of shrivels up. The purple wand rips out of her head and drops to the ground.
Am I still a fox?
You are all back to normal.
Woo! Rats.
But you keep your foxtail.
What'd you say?
Satsuki, so your tits are a little bigger, Satsuki's ass is a little bigger, and you have a foxtail.
Oh, yay, Satsuki.
You know.
You still have an ample puss.
This just won't do.
I'm going to walk over, swishing my tail, and pick up the purple wand.
Okay. As you all, as you pick up the wand, you notice that it's the same style, kind of star shape, and then these are wings. These are kind of like a dark, raveny wings, feathery wings. As as all of them kind of pulse together, as all 3 of them have been united, and you have all 3 of what were they called? You have all 3 of the waifu.
Wand of Ascending Infinite Force and Unity.
Yep. You have all 3 of the waifu.
We have the MacGuffin.
Yeah, the MacGuffin.
Brilliant. So I just want to say that this makes the Honey Heist look like The Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah, basically. Okay, with that, you hear a voice over the radio. Hey, I because of plot convenience, I heard that you killed the witch and you have all 3 wands, and I just conveniently figured out where their lair was. It's deep beneath the ice in Antarctica. That's where they took your senpai.
That's interesting.
Well, let's go get him.
I'm going to need a few supplies to be waiting for us at the cap when we get there.
You got anything? What do you need, girls?
I'm going to need a SCAR 17 rifle with a 13-inch SBR conversion barrel and a PSW SCAR 17 extension rail, vertical grip with integrated bipod, suppressor, an Elk Inspector DR roll 1.5 tactical sight for SCAR 17, a Giselle Super SCAR trigger, an HG Special Ops Duo charging handle, a tactical sling, a Viridian X5L RS laser pointer, and 300 rounds of 7.62 millimeter ammo.
Yeah, I got one of those lying around right here, actually.
Great. And
Perfect. I'll be very excited to see it when I get it.
I have a list of things as well. I'm going to need 1 plush velvet pillow, I need a pug kigurumi, and then I also need a nice steaming hot bowl of tonkatsu ramen.
I can do that, sure.
I'd like to request some ice picks, a couple, actually a flamethrower if I could, some rope, and a really cute, like parka schoolgirl version uniform, like our winter uniform.
Made that 3 very cute parka schoolgirl uniforms.
Well,
And a kigurumi.
you got it. Anything for you girls. It'll be waiting for you at the port. In Antarctica. Where I'm taking you.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
And then I'll open up my cell phone. I'll pick it up off the ground. I'll open up my cell phone. The Backstreet Boys are no longer playing, and the map comes up, put in the coordinates, and zip off to
Okay, yeah.
Antarctica.
He sends the coordinates. He texts you the coordinates with a great text plan. And as you wait for the helicopter, you're kind of sitting around like the forest. The forest is burning, and you kind of you manage to leave the woods. The helicopter picks you up, and once again you have a montage leaving the United States all the way down to Antarctica, the South Pole, the dock where you are. You have the coordinates to the secret lair beneath the ice, and waiting for you is all your supplies. You have cute parkas, and you hear over the phone Mr. Tonecoats say, "Well, good luck, girls. This is the final trek. I hope you manage to save your senpai, and don't forget to activate your MacGuffins." When you need to. Okay.
I think what our history teacher, our alternative history teacher is telling us is that we need to wait until all hope seems lost to call upon the power of our best friendship and activate the wands of ascending infinite force and unity.
I agree.
How will we know how to activate them?
I think that through the power of friendship, we'll just know.
Yeah. I think we'll get like a tingle in our nether regions, and then we'll know it's time, and that's how.
I trust you, my friends.
I trust you too.
Okay. So you make your way across the frozen wasteland, and it's incredibly chilly. And despite all that, you're still wearing like cute winter. Even though it's cute winter version, is still a schoolgirl outfit. But it keeps you warm enough as you kind of follow the directions that Mr. Tonkotsu left you. And you eventually kind of find your way between this large mountain pass, and then you find your way into a small crevice, and you find your way walking down in kind of this blast of hot steam. And as you walk down and down, it feels incredibly warm. As you're walking through, and you're starting to see these just ruins of just strange stone with all these horrific carvings of creatures that look like remnants of sea creatures. Or are they reptiles? Or are they birds? It's kind of hard to tell. Some creatures that don't even look like anything that you could even compare to. As you're making your way down and down and down into the darkness, you start to hear low chanting. And you step out onto a platform that has a narrow pathway over and what seems like an endless black sea beneath the ground. And at the center of, at the end of this platform is what you can see a row of hooded figures, all standing around a smaller figure floating, levitating in the center. You see that mess of blonde hair. You recognize Charmin, your senpai, floating, being levitated. There is one figure as you're kind of making your way closer that seems to be not hooded, standing in this kind of like tight outfit of like leathers. He kind of has a half cape. He kind of has a large sleeve of like red and black tattoos kind of all over him, and he seems to have the ear. You see like the back of glasses on his head. Standing, he has his back towards you, and he's looking up at Charmin.
How far away are they?
They're probably about like 100 feet.
They haven't noticed that we're there yet?
Not yet. You guys are being sneaky.
I kneel down, I steady my Scar 17 rifle, and I begin to unload on the figures in front of us. 300 rounds of 7.62 millimeter ammo.
I would say roll 3 dice for that.
I got 3 passes.
Okay, so Satsuki, you kind of prop down, you aim your rifle, and you just immediately the sound of that gun going off just completely levels. All of these masked cultists are turned into a fine mist as they are completely disintegrated as blood seeps into the water. However, the figure, as soon as you pull the trigger, almost disappears. And all of a sudden, there is a
young man about your age, about 16. He's wearing glasses, but they're kind of this sheen white. You can't see his pupils. He almost teleports behind you, and you hear a shh as he unsheathes the katana. He leans in beneath you, next to you, and says, "Nothing in personnel, kid." And he's going to make a strike on you. What are you guys doing? He's directly behind you.
Well, he's too fast for me, and I was too focused on using the scars, so I'm not able to get to
What are you two
my
doing?
katana fast enough.
I am going to... Alright, Kelsey, go.
Would I have seen him or no? Would he be stopped?
He's behind you, and he's drawing his katana. You recognize him. Seems to be a 16-year-old boy like you guys.
Okay, I'm going to freak out seeing him appear in front of us. And I'm eating my ramen at this point in my kigu. I'm going to, it's still steaming hot because it's so hot in here, I'm just going to throw it in his face.
Okay. Make a waifu roll of 2.
Both succeed.
Both succeed. So, as he's reaching to slice and just completely behead Satsuki, after making such a commotion, you manage to get in a full bowl of hot ramen in his face. He goes, ah! And he can, he is so fast, he zips out of the way. And you kind of think in the back of your mind, he's fast. As he zips, and he's still horribly scarred. And you start to hear the rumbling as the blood from the cultists seep into the Black Sea. And all of a sudden the water starts splashing, and you hear the familiar voice of Charmin. Oh, is that you guys? I'm sorry.
Having just been saved by Okemi and her hot bowl of ramen, I will roll out of the way, ditching the Scar 17 and drawing my my Bakuzan and preparing to fight back. And I say, I won't let my guard down again. Thank you, Okemi.
Anything for you.
My cheeks get pink as my breasts start to heave, and I remember that moment we shared on top of each other.
So as you ready, the young boy now with like a really epic scar on the side of his face. You see his arms are covered in tattoos. He is now his kind of like the sheen of his glasses are gone as one of the frames is kind of melted and the glasses have been knocked off. One pupil, they're each a different color. One is like this pure black and the other one is red. He has a red stripe in his spiky hair. And he looks at you and says, "Yes, it is I, Shitohiro the Shadow's Edge. When I was 4 years old, my family was murdered in front of me. Then I had a foster family. When I was 8 years old, they were murdered in front of me too." He's pacing back and forth. "And then when I was 12 years old, my second foster family brutally murdered in front of me. And then after about 8 lines of foster families all murdered in front of me, I became the leader of the cult, although I'm only 16. Yes, I'm a boy like you." And then immediately tentacles erupt from the water behind him as they start thrashing about, and you hear Charmin's voice say, "I'm tired of being a cold prisoner. I don't want to get eaten by an old god. I'm not a virgin, I swear." And then he says, "He's lying." And then immediately all the tentacles turn to you, and they all lash at you, and he says, "Behold the power of our god!" And he's running at you with his katana.
Seeing as he is a fellow katana user, I will meet him head on and show him the power of Satsuki Kiryuin.
I'd roll... Are you just going to sword fight him?
Hell yeah!
Okay, 3 dice. I would say that this is something that you're an expert at, is dueling.
My god, I'm rolling like... I'm actually rolling really well if this was D&D damage dice. I got 2 6s and a 3, so that's 2 failures and a pass.
2 failures and a pass, so you manage to... You're clashing blades. And he says, "Ah, yes, someone who can potentially match my skill. Too bad you're not as experienced as I." And you manage to get one little nick on his shoulders as he manages to just stab you kind of in your side, and you are bleeding a bit. So you manage to kind of both a bit of give and take.
He says, "Nice try, kid. You managed to make me use 5% of my power."
This is only a fraction of my power. I'm going easy on you. I want to let my god have the glory. What are you guys doing? Tentacles are just slithering all out in all directions.
Seeing that they're doing this this duel, I yell, "No, not my friend!" And I'm going to get on the ground and I'm going to roll like a panda straight at his feet. And I'm going to just try and roll into him, like barrel roll into the guy.
Okay, I would say
Try to knock
waifu with
him
2
over.
dice.
1 success, one match.
1 success. So you manage to knock into him, and he is ready for you a little bit. He slices you on the back a little bit, but you manage to roll into him and bounce off to the side. His leg stumbles, and he kind of loses his footing. You know what he's doing.
I am going to. I'm gonna. So I have my ice picks with the rope attached. I'm going to. How many tentacles? 2?
There's probably like 12.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, I'm gonna throw. I have 2 ice picks. So I'm gonna throw one at, or one each at one of the tentacles and try to get it like sunk into the tentacle and then pull down the rope.
Okay. Okay. Do tactical with 2.
And then for my question,
Yeah.
I want to know, how do I save Senpai?
Oh, how do you save Senpai? As you look out, you see that there is kind of a very thin magical film being connected to each of the tentacles, kind of almost levitating him into the air. You probably get the sense that you have to deal with the tentacles in some regard to save Charmin.
I got a pass and a fail.
Pass and a fail. So you chuck both. One manages to fly off, splash into the sea. However, one is able to sink into the tentacle. You manage to yank it down. It slams to the ground, tearing off. However, one of the tentacles, the one that you didn't miss, dodges right past you and grabs you by the ankle and yanks you to the ground and starts to drag you towards the water.
Having seen Okemi run into the fine young gentleman that I'm sword fighting, I'm going to take the opportunity of him being off balance to jump backwards really fast and begin to video game medical repair myself and take a few moments to patch myself up.
Okay, I would say you can do that with 2 dice, tactical.
2 passes.
Okay, so you manage to leap back and pull yourself up and says, "Taking time to heal already? Well, didn't you know I can dual wield?" And he pulls out another katana. "This is a skill only I know." And he is lunging forward and just going to attack you guys as the 11 remaining tentacles.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
It's my turn. Somebody else go.
What are you doing?
So as I'm being dragged, I'm going to reach around to my back and just turn on my flamethrower and just aim it at the tentacle that's dragging me and try to like burn it.
I would say 2 dice.
2 fails.
2 fails. So the tentacle wraps its way firmly around you, kind of getting in every nook and cranny, and you are being strangled horrifically and being crushed by this tentacle as it kind of knocks your flamethrower away and starts dragging you down. You're now kind of like waist deep pulled into the water.
Yuna! No! And so I'm going to get up and I'm going to run. I'm going to reach into the pockets of my Kigu and I'm going to pull out 2 sets of chopsticks. I love octopus! And I'm going to dive on top of it, like breasts heaving over Yuna. I will save you as I start to consume the tentacle.
That'll
on
be
top
a
of her.
3 because you are an expert at eating.
2 successes and 1 match.
2 successes. Okay, you can ask me a question. And as you just kind of all of a sudden start to feel yourself get yanked around but up towards as you see as Okemi is slurping up this horrific Eldritch God tentacle that is it's all up in your business, and her face is right up in your business eating this. You are getting
I'm
covered.
also blushing looking at her like I remember that moment we shared. It's all happening all over again.
As she's spraying you with saliva and tentacle junk. And now it is down to 10 tentacles. You're both free. You're wet from the waist down. You know what I'm saying? As you're
Yes, sir.
yanked out of the water onto the thing, and then Shitohiro is running to attack you, and he says, "Don't you know Yuri's never cannons?" Ah! And then he's running to slice at you guys.
As I see that, having been done healing, yell, "Not so fast!" And then I go to strike him.
Okay.
And give, of course, I shout, "As long as there is breath left in me, Satsuki Kiryuin has a chance at victory." And I strike at him.
3 dice. Tactical.
1 question, 1 fail, and 1 success.
You have a question.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I'll think.
Okay.
Give me a second.
So it's a 1 success. So you both once again managed to trade blows, but now he's kind of whirling around both of his katanas that he's dual wielding and kind of blocks most of your attacks. And you manage to kind of slice him again, but he then gets another good shot at you. He slices deep into your shoulder, and you're kind of sent skidding back and says, "2 is better than 1." And he takes his blade and he licks the blood off of it. They call me the Shadow's Edge.
For my question, I want to ask if he seems like the kind of person that can be bothered by personal, emotional questions.
You could probably get that sense, yeah.
Okay.
And then my question is, does he look like he has magical powers beyond the summoning, or does he seem like a human who's just skilled?
He seems like a human that's skilled, may have some like speed, shadowy, kind of dark eldritch magic,
Okay.
but not like he's an alien or something.
So not like the regenerative alien.
No.
Okay.
No, he's probably the most natural of all of the foes you face at this
Perfect.
point. Okay. So you've gone, what are you doing?
So now that I am free, I'm going to run back and pick up my flamethrower, which I dropped, and aim it at the swarm of the remaining 10 tentacles.
Okay, your flamethrower, roll 2, please. You go up and you pick it up, and you aim it at the tentacles.
I got 2 matches, so 2 questions.
Two questions. So as you go and grab your flamethrower once again to use it, the tentacles once again knock the flamethrower, having it it slides across the stone floor, and now 2 tentacles go and lean and grab you, and they are wrapping all around you. You get 2 questions, but you are now being they're kind of almost like pulling you apart, and it's incredibly painful.
Is there any advantage that we could gain from the terrain that we're in right now inside of this cave? Like any weak places that we could exploit?
You look up and you notice that there are some stalagmites, right? Stalactites hanging down
Go
from
up,
the ceiling.
tights go down.
Stalactites
Would
hanging
it be
from
a
the
real
ceiling.
game if we didn't ask this question in any scenario?
It doesn't matter, D&D, a tactical waifu. Yes, there is terrain, and also looks like there might be. Yeah, that's probably the extent of it.
Is the guy that we're fighting, is he a virgin?
Absolutely, yeah.
Just had to check. Proceed.
Can I see that he's wearing earrings? Or any kind of jewelry?
He's absolutely wearing earrings. Yeah.
Okay,
He has
so,
like 2. He has 2 gauges.
Even though I've taken a hit and I'm bleeding, instead of doing a tactical retreat to heal, I take an opportunity to say, "Hey kid, by the way, I heard some guy on some forum named Chaos Kid 663 says that earrings are really girly."
He says, "I'll have you know that these are not girly. These represent all of my foster families. When I was a young boy, I was born into poverty. I had a rough childhood, and then I saw my family murdered in front of me." Okay.
And I strike at him while he's monologuing.
Okay, roll tactical with 3.
A fail, a question, and a success.
He managed to dodge out of the way. You managed to get him a little bit. He's kind of nicked, but you haven't done any kind of major moves. And he says, "I'll have you know I'm also a detective, so I knew you were going to try to use an opening like that."
My question is, do we know? Shit. Does he go to our high school?
You actually do not know. He does not go to your high school, no.
Okay.
Are there any serrated bits of pieces of ice that look really sharp?
Yeah, there's a couple of, like, you could probably shave off that. Some of the edges around the shore look very, very sharp. Yeah.
So I'm going to grab 2 of them, and I'm going to run up to Yuna, and I'm going to begin, like, slicing the tentacles, and rolling them up in the snow, making, like, little icy octopus balls.
I would say 3 dice with that.
1 success and 2 fails.
So you manage to slice one tentacle, flies off, but the other one then, so there's 9 left. And the one tentacle kind of regains its grip. It kind of starts to kind of go towards your face, and it's kind of gripping you down and pulling you into the water. But you do manage to kill one. You only get 1 little snow cone.
Awesome.
As you slice it up. Okay.
I'm gonna look above me and see the stalactites that we talked about, and I'm just going to let out like a blood curdling girly scream that I can and try to like shatter them with my voice vibration.
I'll say waifu with 3.
Oh yes, waifu. Okay, I always roll high for some reason, so I have 3 passes.
3 passes. That's a crit. So, as these tentacles are, you still manage to get 1, and everything is looking very dark. And all of a sudden, you look up to the ceiling, and you just let out a shriek. It's the highest pitched girly shriek. All of a sudden, the rumbling of this cavern, and the cavern comes collapsing down. All 9 of the tentacles are just completely leveled, speared in. There's the thrashing of these death throes as these tentacles all sink into the water, and all of a sudden you hear, "Ah!" and you hear a thud, and Charmin is dropped to the ground. He's kind of trying to pick himself up as all the tentacles are sunk into the water, seemingly dead. And now it says, "Our god cannot be killed by such paltry means. How about you?" And he's just gonna run and attack you guys. I think. Coming?
Oh, sure. I'm just gonna take snowballs and I'm gonna throw them at the back of the guy's head, and I'm gonna go,
"Oh, now your hair's messed up. Doesn't look so cool anymore, does it? Oh, now your hair's messed up. Doesn't look so cool anymore, does it?" And I'm just gonna keep hitting him with the snowballs.
I want to build off of that.
2 successes.
2 successes. So, you throw a snowball, bang, bang, they hit the boat. "It took me 3 hours to do this cool hair!" And he like stumbles forward. He gets so mad, he kind of stumbles and he slices himself. A big chunk of his side kind of slices off, and his hair is now all messed up. He's frothing, angry, and distracted now. And he looks around and the tentacles are done.
Following up on Okemi's wicked burn, I'm gonna also shout out 9 Inch Nails and Jinko jeans are overrated. Also, Kevin Robinson from school showed us your DeviantArt page and it's a joke.
I worked hard on those pony sonas! Ah! Is that what they're called?
But this is because I know that I can't heal and I'm bleeding, so I'm trying to get him off edge so I can like counterattack.
Okay, counterattack. Go for it. What are you gonna do? You're just gonna counter. He's really mad. Roll 3. Roll 3.
I'm just gonna try to keep sword fighting him. 2 successes and 1 question.
So as you are, his eyes are wild. His multicolored eyes are wild with rage. As he's defending, he's just going about how long it took him and how far he's come in his art. He went from crayons and now he's like learning with colored pencils. And he's designed a whole world of My Little Pony OCs.
$300 on Copic markers.
On oh my god! And he's like trying, and he has a great plethora of stories to tell of all of his pony sonas. And then just and you stab him right in the side. He's looking very weak as he kind of steps back and he looks around. And he says, "I cannot be defeated like this. I am going to activate my final form." And all of a sudden, he just kind of, takes his katanas and he sheaths them. And then he just pulls out 2 fidget spinners and he's spinning them around. Yeah, and he's just throwing fidget spinners at all of you, and they are deadly blade fidget spinners. I move like the shadow, and just darting around, like zipping around, like fucking Naruto shit, throwing deadly fidget spinners at you. What are you guys doing?
In my weakened state, I'm still going to attempt to block and ricochet the deadly fidget spinners in a safe direction.
Tactical for 2.
I'm gonna. Oh, sorry. Go, Cal.
No, go ahead.
I'm gonna yell out to the group. My nether regions are tingling. I think it's time, and I'm gonna hold up my wand and start channeling my friendship.
Get 2 successes though first.
2 successes, no fails. Okay. You know, what are you doing?
I guess hearing Okemi, I would also pull out the wand and like ready myself.
Okay. So, as you deflect, the fidget spinners, and then they just go, and he just stands there, and he says, "I guess you got me, kid." And then he just slides into 3 pieces, and falls to the ground dead. As your wands channel violently, all of a sudden, his virgin blood seeps into the Black Sea, and all of a sudden, who dares summon Hentagog Dojanax? And all of a sudden, just tentacles, dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens, spew into the air as this massive form of combination of this flesh and tentacle and chitinous, like almost a crab and lobster shell with like a mixture of like rubbery amphibian features. This horrific mass of eyeballs and mouths and tentacles just starts to emerge from the sea. You're both holding up your wands. They're just glowing incredibly.
Yeah, I'm just gonna yell at Satsuki, "Help us!"
I see what they're doing after I've defended myself, and I begin to channel my wand of ascending infinite force and unity.
As you channel your wand of ascending infinite force and unity, they glow incredibly. All of you glow with the respective color of your wands, and it's kind of this. You all swirl around as you all get a group transformation sequence. You have your schoolgirl uniform just kind of almost get absorbed into your body, and each of them changes into a different outfit. Satsuki, you got the Dracula wand. What do you get? Yeah,
Dracula wand.
Or you got the Guff wand. It is. You start to form. Your body starts to change. You kind of start to feel this tightness. You get this kind of like just full blown high heel leather spikes, like full blown dominatrix, and the wand. The wand is glowing with this radiating power. Yuna, who got the alien wand?
That would be Okemi.
That would be Okemi. Okemi, you feel you're closer to shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink, and you notice that once it's over, you have a battle bikini and thong. That barely contain everything you've got going on. And then finally, Yuna, you feel your sort of poofs and frills as you get a poofy but very short maid outfit, and your wand is glowing as you all start spinning, and as you're holding your wand, you're lifted into the air as these tentacles and these forces start to just kind of almost descend upon you. They're almost filling the cavern. More stalactites are starting to crumble down. You all realize that you can fly, and your wands are just radiating with this magical energy. What are you guys doing?
I'm gonna...
Am I able to wield the wand like a sword, or is it more like a shooty thing?
Whatever you got, whatever you want.
I want to try to fly around using the wand like a lightsaber and like hacking the tentacles to pieces.
Okay, what are you doing?
I'm gonna fly straight up into the air in my very scant bikini, and I'm just going to like golden shower, because I've got the orange wand, down like these bursts of magic all over the tentacles that are just coming out of the water.
You know, what are you doing?
I'm gonna say, it's time to clean house, and then use my wand to shoot like little energy bolts at all the different tentacles.
Okay, so Satsuki, you
you channel your wand, and a huge beam sword emerges from it, and you're going through, slicing through. Okemi, you fly up to the center, and you're just waves of magic just spewing and singeing the flesh. And then Yuna, you're almost like a gun, just like a ray gun, just shooting out, pew, 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 like a fucking stormtrooper that's actually hitting. I need all of you to roll whatever you would care to, waifu or tactical, 4d6s.
Wow. Three successes,
Three
one fail.
successes and one failure.
I got 2 successes, 1 failure, and a match.
Okay. So, as you're all just slicing through, you're just unleashing upon this old god, you realize that all the tentacles are starting to descend, all of its flesh starting to descend on your senpai. You all kind of then know what needs to be done. With all of your powers combined, you go together, you all clasp hands, combine all of your wands, and just channel the power of friendship, and in one final blast, to save your senpai, Charmin, an enormous blast of radiance, rainbow, every color that you can imagine, just engulfs the entire cavern, and you hear, and then just in an instant, the whole screen turns white, and just like in every anime, you see the eyeballs kind of turn into this black ash, and then once calm restores to the cavern, the Black Sea is still. There's no sign of Hentagog Dojinax, and covered in this horrific mucus and slime and blood and pus is the shivering form of, but very alive form of your senpai Charmin.
Well, all I have to say, ladies, is that great causes are always fulfilled by personal desire. And we've done something great here today. And again, I didn't do this because I like Charmin or anything. I just wanted to make sure that we saved our personal appointment, which, by the way, he was late to.
That's true. And I did this because I wanted to prove to myself that I could talk to Charmin because he's ultra cool. But now that we've done all this, I realize he's not actually my senpai. I mean, I kind of have the best of everything, right? I've got gigantic boobs, I have my very own ample puss, and I've got a tail just like Yuna. So really, I'm a senpai in my own right.
Those are all very true things, Okemi. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. So
as soon as that happens, you see the kind of shivering, just completely drenched, like horrified form of Charmin walk up.
I throw my pug Kigu at him.
He grabs it and says, "Can we study for math class?"
no, but we can study for alternate history class.
And then you hear a voice from the radio say, "You said that right. A chopper's coming in to take you back to Japan right now. Bento boxes on me. But after that, I got another adventure for ya." And then Puyo Puyo flies in and says, "Ah, here it goes." And then that's where we'll end the session.
I have to say, my favorite boss was hands down the final boss.
That was incredible.
It was like it was crafted specifically for you. All I could see was Austin. I don't know if everyone else felt that way, but I pictured Austin.
Oh, so good, man. So
That
good.
was like amazing.
Well, thank you guys
That
for
was
playing.
ridiculous.
Thanks for, if you're still watching, thank you so much. Thanks for staying up with us in this very minimal prep one shot. But I had way more fun than I thought I would. It was a lot of. I would definitely do this again.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I would like to do it again in person,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
we did the Funny Heist.
Yes.
It's hard over the internet,
Oh, yeah.
but I also like the opportunity to use wacky voices for one shot. So I think the Everyone is John or Everybody is John was probably really great for that.
It was.
It was a lot of
Yeah, it
fun.
was
So
really fun.
next time you guys are in town, we can do one shot. We'll do Everyone is John. We'll do Tactical Waifu again. Maybe we'll have like a one-shot marathon. So maybe stay tuned for that. Well, anyways, we'll wrap up. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Remember, 600 followers. Tell your friends. Come and follow
your wife,
us.
tell
We'll
your
have a good
kids.
time. We should be back to our normally scheduled programming next week. So stay tuned for Witness. You'll be Witness on Monday, and then Prime on Wednesday.
Just to be my own greedy plug guy.
Oh, yeah. Go for it.
I received a rather generous donation last weekend, and as a result, I will be doing a Mad Moxie cosplay
What?
stream Sunday.
Who donated?
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
But it was kind of a goofy thing that turned into a real thing. So I'm gonna be going full on. I'm gonna wear the corset and get the makeup going and get a hat going. We'll do a Halloween cosplay Mad Moxie stream.
Well, I will
on
be
Sunday.
there for 100% of it just to take screenshots.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna try to do at least like 6 to 8 hours. I think.
Yeah, you have to. That's amazing.
That's
I'm gonna
amazing.
try.
That's
I'm gonna
amazing.
try.
We have to.
I will offer my services for a follower giveaway for your channel. So figure out a number, and I will offer my services
very
for a
generous.
follower giveaway just for that
What happens
session.
for sure. But yeah, tune in for that. So stay tuned, I guess.
Awesome. I guess, if you're in DC area, Anime USA, I'll be there. Give me a panel. We'll be there. Come hang out. And 600 followers. I think that's it.
Yeah.
We'll see you on Monday for You Will Be Witness. And thanks so much. We love you guys.
Yeah, we love you. Bye.
Itadakimasu.